That was a 2-0 slurve right in the dirt right there.
Take a look at our defensive lineup. The Mauvs are the home team.
All right. That phone on? Our viewership will slowly start to get up.
The scoreboard at some point,
We have like clusters and whatnot.
already I think
Yep.
we're giving
Hold on.
the home team a deficit here. It's already 11-5. Oh, now we're clear. All right, we cleared the scoreboard. The Mauvs are the home team, so let's take a look. At shortstop, Mason Cantor. In left field, Nico Paletto. Behind
I gotta get some gum for you.
Sorry? Ryan Hunter.
Some nice vitamin gum for you.
Third base, Mana.
We're about to have another game like we did with Park.
Yes.
How's it going? I'm Nick. Hey, man. Nick. Nice to meet you, brother. Nice to meet you, too, man.
He's playing the University of Minnesota this year. He'll be a freshman.
Awesome. You from here? No, I'm from Minnesota. Okay. Whereabouts? Twin Cities area? Okay. Nice.
Okay, and then we're gonna be in a wear, so.
Have we got an extra chair in here, Michael?
I'll stand up. You sit down.
We'll switch off.
I don't care.
Every half
I don't
inning.
need to sit.
Every half inning.
I don't need to sit.
I'm good with every half
The
inning.
headset, or do you want the hand out?
I'll go headset.
Okay, cool. I got headset. Nick, headset on. You're good to go.
Are we live?
We're good to go. We're live. All right, we are live here on the broadcast. You guys hearing me? Do you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got Nick Olczyk, very special guest joining us. And in the booth, also Ethan Felling from the University of Minnesota. He's a Golden Gopher. First off, Nick, good to have you here, man. You threw a great first pitch. Exciting.
Yeah, how'd that go?
That was a slurve down and into a left-handed batter, and I think I got a swing.
Nice. There you go. What is that? Our third first pitch?
We had like 4, I think, at this
Oh,
point.
okay, 4?
Yeah, and I'm going to pull up the rosters for Nick just so we can get underway here.
Yeah, but great to be here with you guys.
So
3-pitch strikeout to start out the game.
Diego Gonzalez down on strikes to Stevenson on the hill.
I will say, though, first impressions, pretty amazing facility, right, Ethan, that
unbelievable.
you guys get to be part of here.
Unbelievable, man.
Pretty great.
100%. Yeah, no, and I mean, probably something even better than that at the talent down here.
Yeah.
It's a lot of studs, so it's a good time competing with all these guys.
And from what I had heard and learned is that kids from all over, guys from all over.
All
right?
over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got a pretty wide range. We got some kids from Australia down here, too.
Wow.
So you met the Australian yet?
Yeah, they're Jewish individuals, so we have met, yeah.
Nice. That's good.
Now the plate is going to be Woodson. Hayden Woodson. And that one's outside. It's going to be 2-0 on the count. 3-0 on the count.
So after a 3-pitch strikeout, now 3 straight balls. See if you can. Don't want to groove it here, right?
100%. I feel like the 3-0 pitch is normally always right down the middle. Nope.
Walked him on 4.
Hayden Woodson gets on first via the free pass. So tell us what you do. I mean, you obviously professional hockey player, right?
No, I wish. Television broadcaster.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, for the Mammoth. And in my dreams, I played in the NHL, but no, I grew up playing
say, you
hockey.
kind of got a hockey accent.
Yeah, that's the hockey talk, I guess, part of it.
Got it. Okay.
But you're obviously familiar with the game, being from Minnesota, right?
Oh yeah. Everybody up in Minnesota
Yeah.
plays. So.
And started playing hockey when I was 3 years old, and I played all the way until Division I in college, and
Wow.
after my second year, just I always knew that broadcasting was the path I wanted to choose, and
Well, good for you.
yeah, thank you. It's nice
Caleb
cut there.
Danzyson up to the plate.
Really nice cut there on that elevated fastball. But I would think back to days when I was 5, 6, 7 years old in my bedroom watching games on TV, and I'd be yelling at the TV, pretending to
Oh, yeah.
broadcast along, and
Oh yeah.
it'd be 11 p.m. or midnight. My mom would come in and tell me to go to bed. So it's just
Fair enough.
kind of been a lifelong passion, and it's brought me here to Utah, my 13th city, calling home. I mean, I'd never even passed through Utah before, after spending the last 2 years in the NHL with the Seattle Kraken and time with the Chicago Blackhawks as well before that. So
Wow.
He's in just loves analyzing sports. Like you could
Yeah.
do bowling if you wanted to. So
That's awesome.
It's
I
honestly a
did-
pleasure to have him along here. I'd love to have him.
yeah, I did.
much as we can.
I did take on Mike Goodkind in a bowling match, we'll call it, and I think I won by just a couple of.
It was a
pins, right?
hair.
Just-
It went down to the last ball for me too. It was
Wow.
went down
Had a
the last
battle,
ball.
huh?
Yeah. 1-2. Stevenson looks in. That one skied to right field. Underwritten there for the second out of the inning is Cal Fingelson.
Tell you what, when that ball's up there and you got the sun coming
Yeah, I was
down
gonna
too,
say you got
even-
some
even with
sunshine
the
in your eyes
glasses, right?
too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ethan, what position do you play?
I'm a left-handed pitcher.
Okay.
Yeah, so pitching tomorrow.
What's your repertoire?
I throw fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball.
Wow.
Yeah. Little 4-pitch mix.
You got some stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been good down here, man.
Yeah.
This place is awesome. So, like you said, the facilities here and the resources we have here are pretty incredible. So.
How about the living arrangements?
Ooh. Well, I have 3 other roommates.
Great.
So we have a room with 4 people. It's been good though.
Yeah.
We've all gotten along. We're all 4 of us are going to the University of Minnesota.
Okay,
so,
that's great. Who are the other guys?
Tristan Moore, Grayson Zock, and then a kid. Those 2 are both on the anchors with me,
Yeah.
and then one from the Red Hots, Nate O'Donnell.
Great.
Yeah, so it's definitely a treat being down here.
So how about a little scouting report on those guys? Anything you can tell us about their
Studs,
their
man.
style?
Dude, they're
Yeah.
studs. I mean, everyone down here can play for sure. Like, so it's incredible the talent down here. It's fun. It's fun. I mean, you're competing with the best, so it's incredible.
Levi Stevenson 1-1, 2 out, and he
Runner
deals, and that
goes.
one's high. Runner goes. The throw in a second. Beauty. Did he get him? No, he's safe at second base.
It's a really good jump too. Get a good idea of movements by the pitcher. You just take a quick little jump and a really nice swipe back there, getting into second. Now you're in scoring position. 2 outs. I mean, is that something that you'd like to do a 2-out
Oh,
scenario,
100%.
right?
You want to
into
get that guy in
position.
scoring position.
Yeah.
Base hit now should score him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a big deal for sure.
And the pitch. Stevenson got him. 2-2 in the count. Evens.
You got the yacker up, too?
Yeah, we'll pull it up, baby. Here, Nick, this will be your best friend, Nick. The yacker track. So we're going to get exactly where each pitch is going. I just messed up
Velocity,
for a
everything.
second. Here we go.
It's our own ABS, huh?
Yep. The 2-2 out. And swing and a miss. Great pitch from Levi Stevenson to end the inning. No hits and one man left on. No runs scored. Anchors and Mauvs tied. Goose Eggs. Bottom one up next.
So you guys are both sports broadcasters then, huh?
Try to be.
Pretty fun.
You know, he's a world-class analyst. That's why it's great to have him in here, dude, because, you know, I call balls and strikes, right? I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not an analyst. You're a player.
Yeah.
But he just knows how to call the game.
Yeah, that's sweet.
There's no commercials here, right? We're just going right through.
Rolling, dude.
Oh,
we can roll through if we want. We can go to a break, or we can come
How about
fully
this?
into the booth.
How about that camera, Mike? Get
the-
nice and close there. Let's
Yeah.
get the face that
There
they
we are.
want to
We're
see.
in
There
the
we
booth
are,
view.
man. There we are.
There we are.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
welcome into the booth. We got Nick Olczyk. We got Ethan Felling, and we're happy to have you all here joining us. Our viewership will slowly climb as the night goes on. That's
Okay.
usually how it goes.
Because Ethan's here. That's why.
I was going to say,
guy's a
no.
stud,
Well, last
dude.
time we got here, we had like 130 viewers or something.
We had 300 in the last game,
Yeah,
so we
crazy.
climbed up there. Yeah, which is
All
great.
the fan. Will they have the same thing at BYU? Will they have it live broadcasted?
So tomorrow I'm actually at Summer League for the Jazz.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but when we're back at BYU the following week, yeah, we'll have it rolling.
I'm sure you know this, Ethan, because he might tell you, but he's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot going on.
Oh, yeah,
so,
man.
You know, you can't put too many.
Dude,
eggs
I
in
knew
one
that from the moment
basket.
I had my first broadcast with them. Is your mic dead? I don't think your mic's on right now.
On the hill for the Yankees.
There he
There
is.
There it is.
It's a dead mic. We're going to switch over.
That's a $2 fine, by the way, when you go to talk and it's not working or you didn't turn it on. So what all, Ethan? What all sports did you play growing up? Was it just mainly baseball?
No,
or?
I played hockey
Did
and
you?
I played basketball
What
growing
position
up.
in hockey?
I was a center.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you could win a face-off or two.
I definitely could, yeah. I mean, it was pretty easy back in the day, but
What high school?
well, do you know the Minnesota area at all?
Oh, do I ever? Eden Prairie,
Really? Okay, so
Lakeville,
I was at a super small school
Wayzata.
right next to White Bear Lake.
White Bear Lake. Okay, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so
Now, you got to remember growing up playing hockey as I did when I went on, left home at 16, played junior hockey. I mean, there were
Oh, yeah,
a ton
where'd
of
you play
guys.
juniors?
I played for the Waterloo Blackhawks in the USHL.
wow. Oh, wow.
yeah.
USHL, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
impressive.
Also played in the North American League, and I spent some time in Cloquet,
Oh, okay.
all the way up near the
awesome.
Iron Range. Yeah.
Awesome. So my buddy, one of my closest friends, is also playing in the Null.
Okay, well,
He's playing for the St. Cloud Norsemen.
okay, very nice.
Yeah, so he's had a good time. I think he's trying to get to I think he actually just made the USHL team in Green Bay.
That's great.
So, yeah, he's
great.
going through the whole process that you
Yeah.
did. So,
Pitching Mason Cantor. He goes 5-6 hole, and he's on with a single.
little bat
So,
flip there.
Yeah, a kid from Houma, Louisiana. He's a great hitter. Oh, he's gonna keep
going
going.
two.
Is he going two? Potential pickle. Oh, race to first base. Did they get him? Oh, he got him.
Unbelievable.
What a play from Pettigrew at the bag. Great defense.
Yeah, he did such a nice job, though, at the plate, staying inside the ball and just flaring it the other way. And I think he might have lost vision exactly where the ball was. And, I mean, give a lot of credit to first base. Who's playing first, Mike?
Kyle Pettigrew.
Yeah, I
Kyle
mean,
Pettigrew at the
he,
bag.
And he made a diving play.
Great pitch there by Dakota West.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
I'm not going to the middle of you a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, come on in here, Mike.
Oh, wait, don't act out.
Don't X out of that? Okay.
That's Jordan.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Got you.
So
So tell me a little bit more about your career. Walk me through it a little bit. What you do and how you got to where you are.
Well, very fortunate to grow up having a role model as my dad. My dad played 16 years in the National Hockey League.
Wow.
So a pretty great role model to learn from,
100%.
to watch, to observe. He now actually
Good pitch there.
beautiful down and away.
Dakota
right
West gets the strikeout for the second out of the inning. Anyways,
and you just kind of always knew that I wanted to play hockey, and
Yeah,
so it
no
was
doubt.
a very natural.
so where'd you play in college?
Very natural progression. Played at CC, Colorado College.
Okay, yeah, no, for sure. I know
Yeah,
where that is. My
yeah.
buddy's actually going there. He's
Really?
committed.
What a small world, huh?
Probably won't get there for another 5 years because that's how hockey works nowadays. Got to go through the whole junior process and whatever.
It's different, man. It's very different, and especially now the Canadian Hockey Leagues, the Western Hockey League, Ontario Hockey League, and the Quebec Major Junior League. Now you have the ability to go and play college, because what it used to be before college, right? If you cannot have been or are currently being paid
Yep.
in any way
Yep.
under the old NCAA rules, but now with name, image, and likeness
Correct.
really
The
taking the
NIL.
forefront,
In all sports, not just hockey.
100%, and the money in that, whether it's hockey, baseball, whatever it is, I mean, it's enough to turn some heads and to make some
100%.
kids make decisions that they wouldn't
Yep.
have made, because if you would have played in those leagues, you couldn't go to college because you'd lose your NCAA Division I eligibility. So just a lot more options.
Levi
I thought it was.
on Nick. Levi Stevenson thought it was strike 3, and
Holy
the umpire's
cow.
going to say it's going to be
Where did that one even
ball
miss?
3, so it's count full.
I wonder where that was on the Acker. 3-2 pitch, 2 outs.
And that one chopped
Chopped
up the
up
middle.
the
That could
middle.
be a single. It is. So
Ironic.
Ryan Hunter, the catcher, aboard with a single.
Wow, I feel like that stuff always happens, man. Think you get the strikeout, and then the very next pitch.
Sometimes the ball does lie. Right?
Seriously,
Ball
right?
doesn't lie. Sometimes it does lie. But yeah, no. So just, I mean, hockey has given my family and I everything we have, and
No doubt.
you know, just super fortunate to be part of the game at the highest level and to be part of an incredible organization like the Utah Mammoth. And you know, Ryan and Ashley Smith have done such a phenomenal job putting the organization in a place to succeed, not just on and off the ice, but in the greater Utah and Salt Lake community. And I haven't been here since last September, coming up on a year. You know, the one thing I've realized is not only are there a lot of passionate people around here, but it's community first. And there's so many folks that give you the shirt off their back, and just to be part of this community. And before coming here, I mean, I had never even been to Utah before. I'd never even passed through. So, you know, the first experience and coming up on 1 year has been amazing. And here I am calling a baseball game too with you two guys.
That's awesome, man.
Ton of fun.
Good for you.
Ton of fun.
It's great to have you out, honestly. Nick, we're happy.
And you
that
do great
made it.
work, Mike, too, at the games,
Thank you.
hyping everybody up. I get excited when you.
Do you?
When
We're going to bring it to another level this year, Nick. I'm telling you right now.
Are ya?
I think so. I think it's that kind of year coming up.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of the hype moments I have in mind, but you know,
Yeah, no, you guys are going to bring it to the next level, and there's no doubt that the team is too. A couple of huge off-season additions.
I personally don't know PR-wise how much I can talk about the team due to my position, but just from your point of view, like JJ Paterka and that trade and just some of the off-season moves, you've got to be excited.
Yeah, anytime you can go out and get a guy that's going to impact your team right now in a huge way, that's a huge get. He's 23 years old, still very much not even in the prime of his career yet. Played the last few years with the Buffalo Sabres. He had 68 points last year, a career year for him, and the type of guy.
3-2 pitch, got him. Dakota West gets the
Beautiful pitch from Levi
strikeout.
Stevenson.
That was right on the corner.
So Kong from Hawaii goes down on strikes, and we are going to be the top of the second. But Nick, sorry, carry on with that, please.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's an exciting time to be a Mammoth fan right now, because you know this team is still very young. They're coming into their own. They're learning what it takes to win. And look, I mean, it took them till 4 games left last year to be officially eliminated from the playoffs. So with the offseason additions of a guy like J.J. Paterka, who's going to help the team not just now, but he's going to help this team for a long time to come. And when he was traded, he went on to sign a 5-year contract extension as well.
You good? All right.
So
Let me know.
This is the type of guy that's
You know I got you.
really going to impact this team in a lot of ways offensively. And, two, you go out and you get a guy like a Brandon Tanev who skates fast, and when he hits, it hurts. When you're going into a battle with a guy like Brandon Tanev, when you come out of it, you're probably going to have a bruise. And if you don't come out of the battle with the puck, he will.
Wow.
So you're getting toughness, speed, physicality. And then I love the addition, too, of a guy like Nate Schmidt, who was on the Florida Panthers last year. He won a Stanley Cup.
Yep.
He's played well over 700 games in his NHL career, and so you're bringing into the room more good veteran presence. And, Ethan, in your career, I'm sure, there's been at every level you've played, there's always the older guys that,
100%.
whether they're vocal, whether they're not, you see the process that they go
That's
through.
how teams
every
are
day.
built as well, too, man. With that chemistry of the older leadership, that's a big deal, man.
That's the
guys
culture.
that have experience of success. It's a big deal.
It's culture, and it's knowing that everybody has a role.
Yep.
And you got to do two things on a team. You got to know your role and you got to accept it, and then you
Yep.
got to go out and execute on it.
100%,
Right? Whether
100%.
it's hockey, whether it's baseball, no matter, or whether it's business world.
100%.
Everybody's got a role, and once you start trying to do somebody else's job, then that's usually where bad things happen.
It's crazy, Michael. You bring guys on the show that know their stuff.
Dude, he's a great guy to talk about Major League Baseball.
I was going to say, last time we had Parker Van Dyke.
I'd love to get the two of you actually together. He's
Yeah.
a G Leaguer, plays for the Austin Spurs, and just knows everything about
Literally
Major League Baseball.
came on the booth.
That one
and
snagged
named-
at left field, and
So he
Like,
named
retired.
the last 50 World Series champions
he
and
did every World
MVPs
Series champion from 2000 and MVPs. Yeah.
and the MVPs.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
And,
I mean,
and I'll tell you what, my love of baseball, throughout the course of my life, really was fairly recent. When I was younger, I'm such a big proponent of kids playing multiple sports growing
Yeah.
up, right?
Yep.
Not just being around different types of people, but different motor skills and
it
staying
create.
active.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes you an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Playing other sports, different sports have different things that help your body and help you become an athlete. So
And then
I
when-
think it's important as well.
Yeah. And then when you get to 15, 16 years old, okay, then that's probably when you got to
then you
make
can
your
branch
decision,
out
right?
100%.
And you got to be able to make that decision to you got to be able to make that decision to, okay, am I going to really pursue just baseball or just hockey? And then
Especially
that
if you're a
becomes
guy that
year-round.
wants to play at the next level,
It
right?
becomes year-round, right?
100%.
Because in hockey season you're playing, and then in the off season, you're 17, 18 years old. You're going to play Division I in college. That's where you're prepping.
I mean, you're training
hockey-wise.
every day, man.
And you're training, and you're skating.
Sky to
That one
center field.
Smoked to center field under it in there for the second out of the inning.
That was very well hit. But just, these days I really try to tell as many people, parents, kids, have your child play as many sports as possible. And
And I think coaches say that too.
yeah.
At a young age, I think coaches would agree with you on that.
So let me ask you this, Ethan. How do you think, now that you're as accomplished and continuing on in your baseball career, how do you think hockey has played a role in your baseball life?
Well, I mean, definitely conditioning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, being a hockey player is no joke. So, definitely conditioning. But then I think, at such a young age, when I was playing on so many different teams with so many different sports, it was kind of learn to become a good teammate at a young age, learn to build team chemistry at a young age, and I think that's where playing 3 different sports with a lot of the same guys. Turned out to kind of grow into my leadership role. So now I've kind of carried that over, obviously, into my baseball career, which has helped me, I think, significantly.
There's
so.
a lot of different ways to lead. right?
100%.
So how do you lead?
So I'm a verbal leader,
Yeah.
huge. I'm big time.
I
So
would have never known.
really. So I'm a big. I'm always guy gets down, I'm right there, first one to pick him up, kind of thing. I'm big on support when someone has success. I'm the first guy there to
Scotty
congratulate you,
Davidson,
whatever.
Travis Friend
So
there, and Travis Friend retires that for the second out. Continue
1, 2,
on.
3 inning
My
there.
bad.
yeah, no, you're good.
Not my bad. I'm going
I was
to
gonna
sometimes
say
interrupt.
we
Yeah.
gotta broadcast
Continue.
the game first.
Yep,
but
continue.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a big deal. I think playing multiple sports, and I think leadership is the biggest takeaway for me. So
Yeah. How about in terms of the physical aspect of it? Grip strength so important in baseball,
Yep.
right? As well for hockey, right? Holding on to the stick.
oh yeah, grip strength's the big deal now in baseball for health wise.
Yeah.
They do grip strength tests now to test your elbow and a lot of stuff as pitchers. So Yeah, a lot of that stuff, like you said, man, carries over. Like, if you play multiple sports, the different sports give you different strengths.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just get it all just from one sport.
So when you were younger, any other positions, or has it just kind of mainly been
So
pitching?
in high school, I played center field as well, so I was an outfielder as
So
well.
you got some legs on you. You can run.
Yeah, I can run a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say I run like a 6'9",
So
6'2".
you're not PCA, but
No,
you can.
no,
you
but I can run for sure. But get good jumps on the base. I'll kind of just like play the game fundamentally, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially from a defensive standpoint, like get good jumps on the base paths, can steal bases, but always been a pitcher by heart, and now took over that role. Obviously, going into college, can't do both, so definitely excited to be a pitcher. And
So let me give you a scenario here, Ethan. It's 3-2, 10 pitch at bat.
ooh,
He's fouling everything off.
yep,
First is open, so if you walk him, it's okay.
yep, okay.
What do you feel most confident in? What's your out pitch in that situation?
Well, I mean,
Great question, Nick.
at this point, I probably would have thrown. I mean, if it's a 10 pitch at bat, I probably would have already thrown all my pitches.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I mean, it so depends on how I mean, I'm such a big guy on like analyzing at bats, reading a hitter's timing, whatever. Say he's a touch late on a fastball, I don't give him the chance to catch up by throwing a changeup, right? So. But, I mean, all in all, like, knowing nothing about the situation, I'd probably just go with, like, a high hitter.
Yeah.
Not going to lie to you. Something above the hands. Try and get him to chase. I mean, if first base is open, like, either slider in the dirt or little fastball above the belt.
Yeah.
Levi Stevenson still on the hill.
This is Dakota West.
Dakota West, rather,
Yeah,
still on the
yeah,
hill.
yeah,
My bad.
Yeah. 1-1 count now.
Nick, there's a lot of guys in this league, so I'm not going to lie. You got about 5 teams, 160 guys. So night after night, the names sometimes they get jumbled.
All staying
And lost in
in
translation.
I'm pretty sure 3 hotels total. Wow. Yeah, so I got a lot of housemates that I know around every day.
Yeah.
So
Willie
1-2
Roberts
pitch
at the
just
dish,
misses.
and that one misses.
Ethan, what was the recruitment process like
See, that's a good question. I
for
think
you to get here? Because Minnesota to here, I met some folks earlier, a couple guys from Arizona. You mentioned a couple guys from Australia. Like
100%,
it's
man.
not
It's
just,
all over.
It's not like it's just Utah.
Vegas, California,
So what was
Alaska.
the call, the email, the text? What was it like when you first found out that you were going to be coming and playing in the league?
Yep. So actually, I got the call that I'm playing in the league by the University of Minnesota coach. So he was the one that first informed me.
As Willie Roberts down on strikes.
Yep. So he was the first one that informed me that this is kind of where they send their guys. So the University of Minnesota has a really good connection with Mr. Shepard over there, who runs this league, and it's a big deal because I mean being a part of this league is definitely a blessing. So had the connection through the University of Minnesota, and first time down here, and it's been great. It's been unbelievable.
That one fouled off. 1-2 in the count. 1-1 rather. I missed that.
I will say I love the ivy there on the
Oh yeah, it's a good
on
look,
the
right?
fence.
It is a good look.
I'm a Cub fan. I'm a Cub.
Okay,
I'm a
so
Cub
just like
fanatic.
Wrigley. Just like Wrigley.
So I walked into the ballpark and I saw that right away, and I'm just like,
You Chicago fan? Love it.
go Cubbies! They're up 11,
Love it.
11 rip right now.
Swing and a
Swing and
miss.
miss. Beautiful pitch from Dakota West. So down on strikes is Travis Friend, and here comes the Australian, Cal Fingleson. Now this kid's from Australia. He's from Sydney, Nick, and his dad, Gavin, actually played in 04 with the Olympic team that won a silver medal in Athens. And he's
actually a Little League World Series guy.
Wow.
So he was part of the Little League World Series down in Williamsport.
Good player. First pitch inside.
Ball misses.
Well, the 2 strikeouts that Dakota has had in this inning, both on that,
Breaking ball.
down
Yep.
and away to a right-handed batter. So something to keep an eye on.
A one
As
pitch
Fingleson is
chop.
short, the throw, and that is in time. So that is the inning. Nice play by the shortstop, Diego Gonzalez, and we are going to be top 3.
We're moving.
You guys keep going. What? No.
We are cruising right
We're
now.
cruising. We're top 3. It's a fast game.
Knock
Playing
on
9
some-
tonight. Are we
knock-
playing?
Heck, no, we're not.
Are we playing 9 or 8?
It's 8. 8, right?
So how about for those that have not are tuning into the live stream for the first time, how different are the rules here than in a traditional, like a major league game? Is it pretty much all the same?
I would say it's almost identical.
Yeah.
I would say it's 100% identical, other than, I mean, we can kind of decide whether we're playing 8 or 9 innings.
Okay. And
But
that's based on what?
normally just pitching from both teams, like the coaches talked before and whatever.
Yeah.
Because, but yeah, Michael, you got to tell them about the playoffs here and give them the rundown on how exciting that is down here.
I'd love to have you for the playoffs, Nick. I think
It's
would be,
unbelievable. I mean,
that'd be nice for us.
the environment, I've heard, I mean, obviously this is my first year here, but I heard the playoffs, I mean, it's a big deal. People get into it. Gets pretty intense. So, obviously, we have a really big regular season. We play, 40, 50 games?
So it's about a 40 games?
40
Yeah.
game regular
About
season.
40
then playoffs.
days.
Yeah.
40 days of baseball.
And it
and then
goes
the
from when? When
we
to
got
when?
here
June
June
12th?
10th.
Well, June 12th.
First game
yeah,
was
started
June
playing.
12th.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we go till August 2nd.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's good. So obviously I'm from Minnesota,
Yeah.
going to the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like I get my out-of-state college experience without actually going to
right.
college here.
So what do you think about Salt Lake,
Oh, dude.
Utah? What do you think?
Utah's great, man.
Yeah.
Utah's great. I love the weather down here. I've always been a warm guy, even though I live in Minnesota and it gets freezing. But definitely love the heat. Love the mountains.
You don't need to bring your choppers out here.
No, absolutely
You can leave
not, which
those
is
at home.
great.
Yeah.
I think it's rained once
Yeah.
when I've been down here, which is like
No, we had one last
Rain
week,
out.
July 4th. We got some rain, but we ended up playing. And then earlier in that week, the Wednesday, it poured pretty good. So we had one rain out. But you know the Dodgers haven't had a rain out since I think April of 2000.
wow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. 3-1 in the count. Stevenson on the hill.
So what have you been up to, Michael?
In terms of what?
Just life, man. How are things?
Things are good, man. That one fouled off. It's going to be 3-2.
Full count now.
Things are good, man. I'm very busy with this, obviously.
I was going to
so
say, this takes up most of your day,
there's
obviously.
a lot of my day.
Takes up a lot of your day, for
tomorrow
sure.
I'm at
But
Summer League.
Yeah.
And then I'm back here again.
so
on
when do you get full-time back with the Jazz?
Oh, I'm like, once we get to October, I'm Mammoth
I
and
was
Jazz all the way.
I was going to say, you're there every second of the day,
Uh-huh.
right? So ball 4 to start the inning there.
So Wadelski, base on balls. Here's Max Farrell. This kid can hit.
I mean, you could say that just about anybody walking up
no,
to the
you
plate.
absolutely can.
Seriously, right?
Absolutely can.
It's unbelievable. I mean, like
Fa-
people
Fa-
that
Farrell yesterday had a big one.
I mean, people that don't come and watch the games every day, like, probably don't even understand how good these athletes are down here. It's ridiculous. Yep. The 0-0 pitch, runner on first.
Max Farrell gets a ball. It's 1-0.
Ethan, how would you describe your pitching style?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. I'd say I'm definitely I'm a guy that can work all my pitches for strikes, so I like to mostly I feel like hitting is timing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do, as a pitcher, anything I can do to mess up a hitter's timing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to mix speeds a lot. I don't normally like to go back to 2 pitches in a row. So I'm definitely a guy that reads a hitter, analyzes a hitter, and kind of throws what I think is best, and that could avoid a barrel.
And that one, sky to center field. It's got some carry to it, under it, and
Looks
there,
like he's
Travis Friend.
Got a read on it.
And that's first out of the inning.
So you mentioned reading the hitter, analyzing the hitter, especially when you're going to be playing in school and at prior levels. How much of that is the pre-scout
Oh, 100%.
opposed
It's everything.
to
Well,
with analyzing within the bat?
I'd say, down here, I can kind of shake off a catcher whenever I want.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, once I get to college, man, like, your college coach is calling the pitches, like, you don't get to shake them off.
Yeah.
It's funny, but.
So for those that have never played at that level, you shake
yeah.
them off.
I was
going
to
to
say, high school ball down here, like, prior to anything really college, it's
What happens if you do?
oh, coach will get on you for sure. I mean, he's calling the pitches and he's calling whatever he thinks is best. So that's kind of like you showing him up if you're shaking him off. So
Have you ever shaked off?
oh, for sure. Oh, down here all the time. But obviously I haven't been to college yet.
Yeah,
But
right.
I know that's a different
Yeah.
story, and I'm definitely not gonna. As a freshman that hasn't proven anything, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be the one to be shaking off pitches.
Well, maybe when you get to your Runner took off there. It was a pitch right.
1-1 count now. I mean, if guys that are probably a little more established maybe have a little more leeway.
Yeah, right.
But definitely has just a.
When your 10 starts in and you got a 2.05 ERA, then it's probably a little bit more leash to be able to.
Definitely. Yeah, no doubt.
Do what you want, right?
Gonzalez at the dish. The pitch to Gonzalez, that one inside. So 2-1 in the count.
We could see the base runner there, Ethan, on second.
Wadelski.
Wadelski kind of juking back and forth, trying to take up the
Dude, the base runners down here have been incredible.
How hard is that to focus on the pitcher trying to throw, where you're trying to throw, and the runner that's trying to give you something to think about on the bases?
Well, I've talked to Michael about this quite a bit. When you put a guy on that's got speed, I mean, it's just another thing you need to worry about, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you put a guy on that's known to steal bases, like then you got to change up, like, because now you're slide stepping to the plate versus you can't take a big leg lift because then they'll take the base standing up. So, it's definitely tougher putting a guy on that can run. So, avoiding leadoff guys getting on base and whatever it's a big deal because, I mean, when you steal bases, now they're in scoring position, base hit, scores a run, and you put yourself into some trouble. 3-2 count, 1 out.
Anything out of the infield here, well, at base, it might bring Wadelski home.
Most likely, yeah.
Full count pitch. Pay off that one. Off the inside part of the bat. Friend retreating, can't get there. That might score Wadelski. Round and third, headed home on his horse. The throw's a beauty from Friend. Oh, he got him.
Wow.
What a throw. Travis Friend, an absolute gun. And Ryan Hunter, an even better tag.
And I'll tell you what, when Wadelski was at second, there was just a subtle little hesitation because I think he thought there was a chance that it was going to be caught.
Yep.
And I think that's why the play was able to be made at home. Heck of a throw. That was a frozen rope all the way to home plate. But that subtle little hesitation by Wadelski, not recognizing that it was going to drop in, cost him getting thrown out there at home. But nonetheless, a heck of a defensive play.
What's hilarious is right when we were talking about guys getting on base, I was just going to say it's all about the jump you get.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the decider because, I mean, this game really is a game of seconds. Like, it's milliseconds. I mean, you just saw a bang-bang play right there, no doubt. So, I mean, yeah, it's all about what jump you get. When you're stealing, it's like how close can you get to the time he brings his leg up to taking off. So, I mean, stuff like that is A1 example of it.
Perfect pitch.
Pitch is a strike.
Yeah, right on the corner there, away.
0-1, 2 out.
It's got to be a great feeling to throw a guy out at home.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oof.
Putouts are great as a pitcher as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you tip your cap out there for sure. I mean, that right there and a double play ball is like literally a pitcher's best friend. So
here's Woodson. Now, is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Woodson.
Hayden Woodson.
Hayden Woodson to play. So
USC Trojan next year for Hayden Woodson.
a lot of USC guys out here, Nick.
I was going to say, yeah. A lot of University of Southern California guys.
Nick, a interesting story for you after this pitch. And that one launched into left field, got some carry to it at the track, the wall, and retired for the final out of the inning by Nico Paletto from Houma, Louisiana.
Headed to the bottom of the third.
I will say there's been a lot of balls that have sounded really good off the bat, but they're just kind of hanging up there. So
Yep.
not a ton of carry here so far through 2.5.
Ton of breaking balls in this league, Nick. I'm going to get an extra water for you. What, you want one? Extra
I do
water
like
on
staying
deck?
hydrated.
I know you do.
So thank you, Mike. And then the conditions in terms of why you're pitching, Ethan, when really hot. Have there been days where you've been out there and it's been
Oh, yeah.
like?
Oh, yeah.
So
I actually prefer throwing in the heat,
Do
though.
you?
100%. What's that? All right. No, I'm good. I got mine. We're good.
You prefer throwing in the heat?
I 100% do. I feel as though I'm able to loosen up a lot quicker when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
Arm gets loose super fast, feel a lot better. I like actually sweating a little bit when I'm pitching. I mean, there's been days in Minnesota, don't get me wrong, and there will be future days at the University of Minnesota where
98% humidity.
yeah, freezing balls too,
Yeah,
like
right.
when it's 40 degrees or
Yeah.
whatever. So, I mean, being down here in the desert, it's fantastic throwing in 100 degrees. Feels amazing.
So when you're in those extremes, are you able to just mindset-wise just say, okay, I'm in one right now,
oh yeah,
whether it's really
100%.
hot or really cold, and I just got to find a way to do what I can to battle
I
through
mean, I
it.
bet you the lowest temperature we'd play a game in Minnesota would be like 38, 40 degrees, right around there. But, I mean, all you can really do is throw on long sleeves. You can't wear a sweatshirt out there. So it's like you throw on long sleeves and just try and get hot, like try and just play catch, stay loose, like stay warm. But no doubt I definitely prefer I prefer 110 over like 70 degrees even, just like 100%. I love it, man. I like the heat. I feel like I throw harder. I feel like my stuff's got better movement when I'm super warm, loose. So
I'd love to pick your brain on, we talked about base runners on and a guy that has some speed. How much or how often do you work on your pickoff move?
Oh, well, as a lefty, a lot more than probably even a righty. But I would say it's definitely something I worked on a ton at a young age. But now it's kind of just like picking the minute details, just trying to get a little bit better day by day. But now it's more so as a pitcher, like on practice days, like if you're not throwing a bullpen, you're doing a lot of PFPs, you're doing a lot of sprinting, a lot of conditioning work. Very rarely are you just you'll never just have like a pick-off practice, but like you'll do pick-offs during practice for a good amount. But yeah, I'd say it's a lot of like agility work, a lot of sprinting, a lot of PFPs. So and then you just shag balls in the outfield for all the hitters. So
just one more thing on the pickoffs, because I think it's such a fine-tuned, competitive part of the game, especially when there's a guy you're looking over and he's got a ton of speed.
Foul back.
By the way, for those who are watching on Twitter, if you have any questions for Nick Olczyk, hockey-related questions, Major League Baseball-related questions, please do not be shy. We'd love to see your comments.
The question I have right now is, what did the Cubs do today? Oh, they won 11-0.
As Mallard, it's going to be 4-3, gets thrown out at first.
But Ethan, I'm curious, like, in your eyes, what separates a good pickoff move from
It's deception. So it's all about making it look like you're going to the plate, or you're doing everything the exact same as you would if you're throwing home when you throw to first base. So especially as a lefty, like you don't, because I mean a lot of guys at a young, not Division level, a Division I level will give a little bit of a tip on when they throw over, whatever. So it's all about just trying to do everything exactly the same as if you're just going to home plate. So
Correa at the dish.
The game within the game.
0-1 and make it 1-1. I just missed even the count of one.
Hurts as
like
a
a miss to
pitcher.
me.
Hurts as a pitcher, man.
That's got to hurt, huh? You got to hate to see that.
Hate to see it. I feel for him
as
right
a
now.
bystander, you know?
Feel for him.
And
Curveball
breaking ball
just misses. 2-1 count now.
So I got a story for you. Back when I was living in L.A., I never loved Mike Trout personally.
Huh.
Yeah, which Ethan gets mad at. Nick, he never won a postseason game. You know, the guy never won a postseason game.
Yeah, but is that on him or the team?
No, it's on the team. But you can't be, in my opinion, you can't be seeing a guy is in the conversation of GOAT if they've never won a postseason game. You know, in any sport.
Dude, hear me out. I never even did. All right. Did I say he was the GOAT?
No,
I didn't quite say he was the GOAT. But
in 2019, a lot of people were saying he was Mickey Mantle, which I think is outrageous.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. We were
You
talking.
can't be comparing him to Mickey Mantle.
The other day, me, Michael, and Parker were talking about favorite baseball players, and I said my favorite baseball player was Mike Trout, which I think is a very reasonable answer. I think he's a very stand-up guy.
I would co-sign that.
Thank you.
On and off the field.
I was just going to say, it's a character thing.
Stand-up guy.
Character thing. He is
absolutely
incredible. Not to mention
Great
he changed
guy.
the game.
The definition of five-tool.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Point is,
I don't think you have many supporters on this take of yours. You really don't.
I don't have a lot of supporters on the take. Great guy. Never had a 200-hit season. Doesn't matter. Point is,
definitely injury-prone. A lot of injuries.
Injury-prone. You know, I'm talking to my buddy Pete Gerson. We're at the Dodger game, and they're playing the Angels. That missed too. And I said, Pete. You know, I'm kind of I'm not talking smack, but I definitely was like, whatever. Anyway, next play, you know, shot to Mike, you know, center field, makes a great play, turns around, guns one home, and a frozen rope.
Ground ball up the middle.
Could be 4-6-3, no bobbled.
Oh no.
And into center field, so that'll move the runner over.
Yeah, it looked as if it could have been routine, but
almost got a little ahead of himself.
Exactly, and that's exactly where I was going. You're already worried about the throw before the ball's even in your glove.
100%. I think
right?
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Just being able to slow it down and go moment by moment. And the craziest part about it, a play like that, guys, it's going to make that play 9 times out of 10.
100%.
Right? And it's
that kid out there at second base going to the University of Oregon next year.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one. Owen Morgan.
He's a great player.
Owen Morgan going to the University of Oregon. Definitely, I think he thinks he should have made that play. And
with high-performing athletes, there's just so much going on in their brain that they're already thinking – like in chess, you're thinking 4 or 5 steps ahead.
No doubt.
And sometimes that leaves you prone to, missing that first play. And
it
did take a quick little bounce in front of him too, so a little bit of an adjustment.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, that one misses inside 2-0. Ryan Hunter at the dish.
So who's your favorite baseball player of all time, Mike?
Hank Aaron. I love Hank.
I think you changed your answer. I think you changed your answer after we looked up some stats. Because then you were like, wow, this guy's stats
DJ too,
are unreal.
as the ball gets by him, and that's going to score a run. So the runner will score from third.
So a pickoff at 10th.
Correa scores from third on a pass ball. And it's now 1-0 Mauvs.
That's that pickoff we're talking about.
Just went awry there. Ball got away, and all of a sudden now Run's able to score from third.
2-0 pitch.
And he takes one. So my favorite all time, I think Derek Jeter doesn't get enough credit for winning 5 championships.
So you've named 2 favorite baseball players.
Did you say you were from Jersey? Jersey?
I'm from New York. Yeah.
New York. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from New York. I think DJ, wins 5 titles. We're talking lifetime, 310, 3,500 hits in his career.
Who are you talking about right now?
Derek Jeter.
Oh, okay. No, 100%. I think Jeter is.
And
I think Jeter.
Yankees,
I think Jeter's even in the GOAT talk.
I think he's top 5.
I do too.
Top 5.
I could 100% get behind that take. That's something we agree on. That Derek Jeter is all time.
And Nico Pauletto from Houma, Louisiana, and swing and a miss. He's gonna fill the count at 3-2.
3-2, 1 out, runner
Nick,
on second.
Who is your greatest ever?
Well, we probably got to say hockey for. I mean, is it Gretzky?
No. But Gretz obviously
has to be Gretzky.
No, but he loves Ovi too. I don't know if you'd say Ovi is in your conversation though.
Dude, Ovi. I mean, what goal did he have this year? What number was that?
896. That one skied to center field.
Yeah, there's only 1 out. Runner
tracking,
went.
tough play.
Got away.
Can't make it. And
holds the runner up.
Wow.
So Merrick Bostic, good effort in center field. I don't know if that's going to be an error. That's going to be ruled a hit. So runners first and second.
And the runner took off for third, trying to take third as a steal, and the ball ended up dropping in. If it looked a little bit more like it was going to be able to get down, he would have been able to score no problem. But the air out there seems to be a little bit difficult in terms of either holding balls up there quite a bit or making it tough on these outfielders to track it. Because even on routine fly balls, we've seen them had to readjust their feet trying to get underneath it.
And I'm telling you, dude, the
Hunter skies one again towards
tough play
left center. Give me a tough play to make there,
Got
and
it.
for it is Jackson Norm.
So I've been actually talking about the elevation out here. It's different, man.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously from Minnesota. It's way up here out here. So, I mean, I was on a hike the other day, and it gets tougher to breathe. Like, you get a little winded a little quicker. So stuff like that comes into play, too. Balls fly a little further.
Do you notice that in your pitch count?
Yeah, I do. I mean, as a hitter for sure, I mean, balls are flying down here. Like, guys have been hitting some crazy home runs.
Every game you see at least one home run. I don't think we've seen a game without.
I don't think we have either.
Well, it's kind of like guys hitting.
Chad has some words for you.
What's that? Oh, come on. You'd be the first to admit that balls fly down here, too, especially at Gates Field. Oh, come on. Come on. We got some jokes flying in the booth right now. Chopped foul.
So, Nick, do you want to answer my question? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to go. How about just –
Did you say this was a pitcher's park? No way.
I would say –
I'd say the mound is super nice. I think the fences could be extended a little. 0-2 pitch, 2 outs. Runners go.
And that one outside just missed. Runner moves to third.
You know, I'm a Chicago Cubs fanatic, Mike. And so baseball history, obviously, there's been some unbelievable players, right? You know, you mentioned Trout and Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, go all the way back, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, so on and so forth. But, you know, a guy that I grew up watching, Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very much biased for not just the great first baseman that he was, the multi-time Gold Glover defensively, a guy that hit a ton of home runs out of Wrigley Field, but for what he did in the community in Chicago and how important he was to the children's hospitals there and getting out in the community and just being such a great person on and off the field.
Nick, you remember Derek Lee?
Oh,
Great player.
big boy.
Great player.
Big boy.
Yeah.
That was back in those days. Like when I started to get into baseball a little bit, I was a little bit younger back then. But you had Derek Lee, Carlos Zambrano, you had Aramis Ramirez playing third, Alfonso Soriano in the outfield.
Loaded.
I mean, those were some great days.
3-2, runner goes.
And that one spoiled.
And then you fast forward to 2016, where you break over the over 100-year drought of the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series. And
So what was that like for you, the Javi Baez, 2016 Cubs?
that was special.
Yeah.
KB, Chris Bryant, Las Vegas native, also a guy that played in this league.
Yep. Wilson Marshall. I was about to tell you that, but you already knew that. Luke Kong chops to short. Tough play throw to first is in time for the final out of the inning. Nice job.
Limits the
Diego
damage there
Gonzalez.
for sure. So we head to the top of the fourth. You want to switch? Let's switch it.
You got headset. I'll stand and take this. I had a solid 3 innings there.
All right, I'm back. That's way better. Sometimes, though, Nick, my ears need a break from that. You wear the headset down on the ice?
I do. No better seat in the house than
No. The nice level.
than being right between both players' benches, hearing the words they're saying to each other, which 98.8% of the time I cannot repeat
Yep.
because I like my job too much.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep.
But it is good material that I can use on some of my friends, though. I will say that. The material I can bank in my mind down there is pretty special. And also, too, you get an idea of what guys enjoy the verbal altercations and which guys don't. And some guys, they feed off of that. It gets them into the game more. And some guys, other players, it distracts them and it makes them play worse. But I am blessed for all Utah Mammoth home games to be right in the action and trying to not only listen and see, but from time to time dodge pucks that are coming at me 80, 90 miles an hour, which did happen. I did get beamed this year.
Oh, you with the puck,
Oh,
really?
did I ever?
Really?
It was-
You weren't going to Dr. Gee, though, were you?
No. I toughed it out for the next week. I had a nice big welt on my rear, on my the left side of my rear, because I turned at the last second, and I'm glad I turned, because if I didn't turn, probably would have been in some trouble.
Oh, for
if
sure.
I didn't turn.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I don't, Yeah. Now, that one.
Ripped into left center field.
Ripped into left
Caleb
center field.
Zeisen.
Caleb Dan Zeisen aboard with a single. He's going to go 2. Dan Zeisen, there will be a throw. No, not in time. So Dan Zeisen aboard, slides into second with a leadoff double in the top of the 4th inning.
It's a perfect swing. Stay through the inside of the ball and just worry about one thing, getting it over the shortstop's head. And I thought there was a chance that it was going to get all the way to the wall, but credit to the outfield for at least being able to cut it off and give themselves a chance to throw. But a really good really good read, and you knew once Caleb was going to get to first, he was going to cut it and try to turn that into a 2-bagger.
You wouldn't assume it, but Caleb's got some good wheels out there on second base, so he can run a little bit.
Mary Bostic now to the dish. Mary Bostic is from Orem, Utah. And he's going to be year number 2 at Colorado Mesa University. So 1-0 to Bostic. I got to keep score at the same time, by the way, which can be challenging for me. Make it 2-0 in the count.
Ethan, how many guys do you think these days, it's situational dependent, I know, but if we're just talking broadly here, how many guys are going after the first pitch? Because it used to be back in the day, you're never swinging at the first pitch. You're just trying to get a look and get a read.
Me as a hitter, when I was in my hitting days, which are well over, but I would always try and hunt that first pitch because I normally feel as though that's the best pitch of the at-bat. A lot of guys try and, as pitchers, like to get ahead. I mean, people talk about first pitch strikes. So I feel like as a hitter, I like to jump right away on that first pitch fastball because it comes a lot of the time, especially at the high school level. So I normally felt when I was confident swinging at that first pitch, I was hitting my best. So.
And how about that from the pitching side of view for you? Are you more worried about?
I mean, from the reverse standpoint, though, if you get a one pitch out as a pitcher, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that saves pitch count. That saves blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's huge. So.
And are you usually going – I know you said you could get all your pitches over for strikes.
Yeah.
Are you hitter dependent? Are you
100%.
Are you going fastball usually? Or
Dude,
are you
it
mixing
totally
it up?
depends. I mean, I'm totally comfortable throwing first pitch slider, first pitch breaking ball. I mean, like I said, a lot of guys are up there looking first pitch fastball. So if I can keep a guy off balance, show it right away that I'm down to throw whatever I got. It's a big deal, and it gets in their hitter's head quickly. So as soon as you're winning that mental game, you got the one up from the start. So
I will say when I'm playing MLB The Show, and I'm seeing the first pitch come, and I'm, of course, and I'm hoping it's a fastball down the middle, and it ends up being a curveball top of the zone, and I'm way out in front.
Yep.
I feel like a fool. But that first pitch can really be the difference between setting up the at bat and having it go one way or another mentally for the hitter.
100%, man.
Nick, so you've been watching Major League Baseball since what, 90, you were born my year, 96, so that one bunted foul.
Yeah, I would say of the 162 Chicago Cubs games, I'm probably missing about 4 or 5 of those during the season.
That's crazy.
And
You watch every game.
And I missed one of them tonight to be here with you guys.
Wow. You know it about that.
And it was a game where they won 11-0, so
you're okay with it.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
I'm very happy to be here. But I would say consistently watching that much, probably for the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
The 1-1 pitch.
Swing and a miss.
And I've had the great pleasure of watching a couple of great broadcasters and in Chicago for the Cubs games. Len Casper, who's
Harry Carey, right?
Who's now Harry Carey way back in the day, but Len Casper now, who's down broadcasting for the White Sox. But Pat Hughes on the radio, a Hall of Famer.
1-2 pitch. Runners in first and second, nobody out.
And evens the count at 2.
And Boog Shambi, the guy who does play-by-play for the Chicago Cubs on Marquee.
Yep.
JD, Jim DeShays, who was a pitcher in his major league career. So just watching and learning and trying to be able to put myself in their shoes when those games are going on is how I would talk about a certain scenario.
2-2.
It's interesting. You know baseball. You talk baseball like you talk hockey.
Yeah. And speaking of it here, 2-2 count.
3-2 now.
3-2. Last 2 pitches have both been breaking pitches down and away. So we'll see if there's
run something in on the hands here.
See if there's some sort of adjustment.
Yep. Don't want to walk this guy and load him up with nobody out. So 3-2.
The pitch.
Pitch misses.
Pettigrew walks are loaded. And Owen Morgan will come to the dish. The kid going to the University of Oregon. And in a prime position.
And here comes the coach to get him out of there.
So bases juiced.
Solid outing, 3 strong innings. But
how about pitch count for you? What Ethan? Where do you like it to? I know it depends on scenario, but where is a comfortable pitch count you think usually is when you're coming out of the game when things are going good?
Well, I mean, say I'm on an 80 pitch count for the day. I'd like to be going at least 5 2/3. Yeah. So, I'd say 80. I mean, down here, 80 has been our top, just for like arm health and like whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, they're kind of just trying to get you innings down here, get you prepared for the next level at college. Because I mean, you're facing a bunch of other Division I high JUCO guys. So, mostly it's kind of scenario based, but.
Jazzbear has some words for you.
see if the
You
anchors
hungry?
can break and open here.
Tell you what, Jazz Bear was the savior for me
Yeah.
for a game during the season.
Yep. I know. You told me the story, but I want to hear it again.
It was the same game that I got hit by a 72-mile-an-hour puck
Yep.
right in the rear.
Oh.
And as I said, I'm glad I turned, because if I didn't turn, I probably would have never be able to have children in my life if I didn't turn, right?
Yeah.
So luckily at the last
Look at
second,
all the teeth.
It would have got you so
I got
good.
the teeth,
Nice.
Yeah.
thankfully, and they're all real.
But it would have got you in the chest.
It would
pretty much.
have got me a little lower than chest.
Oh, okay.
But with that being said, I was able to get some Advil from our great training staff and our head equipment man Dave Zanobi, or our head athletic trainer. And usually with Advil, you gotta have it with some food, right? You don't want it ripping up your stomach lining. So we were talking about it on the broadcast, and then all of a sudden, that next intermission, which happened just a couple of minutes later, Jazz Bear comes on the ice, across the ice, with a plate of food. Some fruit snacks, an assortment of snacks.
Wow.
A chocolate chip cookie was on there. I think there was a bag of Doritos, Cool Ranch.
Wow.
And
like exactly what you needed at that moment,
And
huh?
I'm like, for as much as Jazz Bear has to do during the game, throwing darts at people's heads and confettiing and picking on the other fans that are here representing the other team, so on and so forth, and doing the great acrobatic work that Jazz Bear does to take the time out of the day to bring me some food was a really special moment. And so big shout out to Jazz Bear, and we've had some fun moments over the course of this last first season.
He's a stud, and I enjoy him very much as a human. He's a great bear.
Yeah.
We're not sure what's going to be coming up in the mammoth, category, but
regardless, Jazz Bear will be back, right? Well, I mean, Jazz Bear for the Utah Jazz.
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm saying. I said
yeah,
Jazz Bear.
Yes.
I said
yes.
Jazz Bear.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, not on the ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those decisions are way above my pay grade.
Yes.
But the Utah Jazz will still be having Jazz Bear, and we are very thankful for that.
So bases loaded, nobody out here. Owen Morgan
and
steps
bringing
up
on
to
a
the
lefty
dish.
to face the lefty.
Yeah, that's definitely not just out of the blue.
Yeah.
That's planned for sure.
I'm actually going to send this to the hockey ops guys right now.
Do you really feel like you've got an upper hand when you're going left on left?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Especially getting the first pitch strike there. Yeah. That's also a big deal. So, 0-1.
And that one
Slider
misses.
gets away
1-0
from him.
gets away. Here comes the runner. There will not be a throw, and this game tied at 1.
Great read.
Great.
Heck of a jump.
Caleb Danzyson scores from third.
And that's just anticipation, being on your toes, your nose over your toes, always being ready to jump, and tried to go for that slider down and away, and the catcher just not able to get behind it and trap it and keep it in front of him. So a great read by Caleb to shoot home. And so now you got 2 in scoring position with a run in, still nobody out.
And that one fouled off.
1-1 fouled back to the screen.
So 1-2 in the count. Griffin Rogers, this kid from Park City, Utah. He attends Occidental College in Eagle Rock, California. D3 school. I know he's trying to kind of make a jump over to D1. We'll see what happens.
Just keep playing. Just keep playing.
Just keep playing.
You never know.
And you played juniors and then worked your way into a Division I school.
That's right.
Pitch to Owen Morgan. And high in the letters, Morgan chased it. So the Oregon kid down on strikes.
It looks so good coming out of the hand, right? You get a fastball, top of the zone. Your eyes light up like saucers, and it looks good. And then all of a sudden you go to swing, and you just couldn't get up to it. And that's why I think you almost got to be in front of it when you're coming with high heat, especially deep into a count. And a really good pitch selection there to go just above the zone with a fastball.
I feel like a lot of these hitters got to see that pitch coming too, Nick. Late in the count, high in the letters.
You're looking for something to put them away. He starts off here 1-0.
Jackson Norum at the dish. And the pitch. And that one misses 2-0.
That's now 3 straight fastballs above the letters. 2-0 count here, 2-0. We'll see if maybe it comes with something a little bit off speed. I mean, obviously, yes, usually a.
You can't give up a big time hit here though,
right?
so can't just groove
So
a fastball.
what would you come through with here?
I'd probably come in with a little backdoor slider. Ooh.
Is that what he did?
Got a pitch there.
Movement-wise?
Got a pitch to do some damage on. As a hitter, that's what we talk about, obviously, with our coaches here. When you get pitches that you're able to do damage with, I mean, it's important to execute that. So a pitch like that on a 2-0 count, runners in scoring position, is something we talk about and reflect upon on every at-bat. So
count even in Norham.
2-1.
That
Fastball.
one
Rip.
launched to center field. It's got some carry
Might be
to it
gone.
at the track, the wall, and it's caught in center field by Travis Friend. Not by Travis Friend. And the run will score.
Oh, please.
So Travis Friend, a beautiful play. The run does score, and the Anchors take the lead 2-1.
Beautiful swing. And with that sound, you just knew that.
I mean, that's doing a job right there. Guys in scoring position,
Yeah.
get your fly ball, get the guy in from third. See if can pick him up now with the runner at third base.
Griffin probably hated that sound.
Yeah.
2 outs.
Here's
Runner at
Wadelski. Wadelski pops up foul. 0-1. You like the snacks? They're good. They're not bad. Yeah, they're good. They are good. They're not bad. 0-1 to Wadelski. 2 outs. And the pitch. Movement on it. And bloop to center field. And Travis Friend makes the play for the final out of the inning. So Travis
Michael, I was
Friend.
talking to my coach the other day,
Yep.
and I was telling him I have, from all my time I've been in Utah so far,
Yep.
I had never seen a sunset worth admiring.
That's
The other
crazy.
day-
Yeah.
I went on a hike.
Come on, dude.
He told me the day to do it. Went on a hike.
Yeah.
And check out this view.
Let's see it.
It was
It
unbelievable.
was a horrible view. Wait, what kind of hike is that? What do you mean a hike?
Or we were on like a top. We were on top of a little.
You're on a
garage here,
bridge.
but talk about that, bro.
Okay.
Talk about that.
I hiked up a bridge.
What kind of hike is
Hike on a
that?
bridge. It was,
Nick,
dude,
I mean, you got that's not a hike. You've been on a couple hikes since you've been out here.
I've been on one hike in my life.
Not in Utah.
what?
One hike in my life.
We got to make that
Really?
too.
Not exactly the most outdoorsy kind of guy.
Yeah.
Unless
Well, you're
it's-
stuck in a rink
he's
24/7.
a big
huh?
city guy.
Yeah.
He's a city
Unless
guy.
it's a baseball diamond or the occasional golf course. But one hike in my life in Hawaii.
Okay.
It
See, when
was,
I was in Hawaii, I actually went on a sunrise bike ride down a volcano.
Wow. Where were you in Hawaii?
Maui,
Okay. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so-
Recently?
a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. But the, when I first got to Utah, there'd be times when I'm driving on the highway, Mike, and I'd almost run into the person in front of me because I'm admiring the mountains and everything all around. And coming from spending 2 years in Seattle, where you are surrounded by mountains, but they're a little further away. Well, here you just feel like on almost every side you're hugged by the mountains, and just the beauty of Utah is breathtaking. No matter where you are, no matter
100%.
what time of day. Building, and we got a great viewing deck all the way up. And you just look around, and you could just sit there, and no matter what picture you take, it seems like it's a postcard.
This
No
place
doubt.
is extraordinary. And, I used to live in L.A. I thought L.A. was, the San Gabriel Mountains, I thought they were pretty extraordinary. But it doesn't do it justice, when you come out here. And no ocean, but you don't really need an ocean out here. Willie Roberts smacks opposite field. It's a high fly ball at the track, and that is retired by Jackson Norm in left field.
That was really
All right,
well
boys,
hit.
I'm going to stay for this half inning, but then I'm going to head back with the boys after this. But
Pleasure,
I
Ethan.
appreciate the chats, man.
Yeah, of course.
You guys know your stuff. I mean, this isn't our first time, Michael.
You've been on probably five times, six
5
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been lucky enough to be joining the guests you've been bringing on, but
As
pitch
Travis
crushed.
Friend crushes one to right field, the track, the wall, and you can say goodnight. Travis Friend, a solo shot to tie the game at 2.
Well, Travis was all over that pitch.
The line drives,
Up, outer half. And he stayed with it, stayed on the inside of the ball and drove that right over near the scoreboard in right field. Just a perfect swing. Not too late, not too early. And you just knew that once it left the bat, it had a great chance right over the wall. It had a good amount of clearance, too.
You're back on. I had you lowered for a minute. Yeah.
And all of a sudden now it's a 2-2 game.
Mauvs answer back and tie it up. Big swing there.
And off
Great
speed pitch.
there. Ooh, just missed.
And that misses.
Look
So
good.
1-1 now.
Look good from here.
And a fastball, and that one's carried to right field as well by Cal
Got a
Fingelson.
read on it. Makes the play.
So Ethan, we
Medelsky.
got one more out with you, man.
100%.
What are you most excited about being able to play at Minnesota, call yourself a Golden Gopher, and be a hometown kid playing at a school that I would assume you watched and were maybe a fan of growing up?
Oh, dude, no doubt. So, I mean, I've been a long-time Gopher fan. Actually, ironically, my dad pitched at the Gophers as well.
Wow.
So I'm going to be a legacy player at the U. But it's a big deal, man. Representing your home state, staying home, having the culture that you grew up with, now actually being the one playing for that team, it's kind of a dream come true. So I feel as though I kind of picked the best spot for me, found a really nice fit. Love the coaching staff there, love the guys. And, I mean, I seriously couldn't be more thrilled. It's a dream come true, no doubt.
That's awesome, man. Well, we definitely wish you the best of luck there.
I appreciate that, man. You too. Grounded to right.
Mallard to the hot corner, and the Houma, Louisiana kid.
Makes the play.
And a 5-3.
All right,
Ethan,
gentlemen.
all the best, man.
I appreciate
Good
you.
luck.
You too.
Good luck.
Michael,
Dude,
good to see you. I'll come
I
see
love you.
towards the end.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Love you too, bro. Hey, you want me to?
Help us pick the player of the game. That'd be nice.
Right now, it depends on who wins the game, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, I'll talk to you. Very nice.
I love you,
meeting
dude.
sir. Very nice.
Pleasure, man. All the best. Good luck.
Okay, so Travis Friend homers, and we're tied at 2. Some frustration from Logan Mallard.
Yeah, Logan was really pounding the turf.
You know, offensive struggles for him. He's a kid from Louisiana who he's got a good bat. He plays at Nicholls State, and I think he hasn't been able to find the barrel as much this season as he's wanted to. So it's been frustrating for him.
Yeah, and I feel like no matter the walk of life, no matter the sport, I think when things are struggling for you, you're not seeing the ball, you're not timing it well. Even if you do time it well, you hit it right to a guy or you hit it foul. I mean, those are the moments, I think, where you need to just find a way to recenter. And as hard as it is sometimes to just focus on the things that are going well, even if it seems like nothing is, the only way to pull yourself out of those types of situations is to revert back to the simple parts of the game and not worried about trying to hit a home run or even trying to get a base hit. Before you can worry about getting a hit, you got to worry about making good contact with the ball.
Yep.
And coming from the hockey world, if goals have been hard to come by and you haven't scored, you've gotten a lot of chances.
Yep.
At least you are getting those looks and you are getting the chances. And if you're missing the net a lot, you can't worry about scoring. You got to worry about just hitting the net first. So I think it's just a matter of coming back to the basics and trying to go from there. But, you know, baseball, hockey, no matter what it is, you want to play and act with emotion no matter what you do, because that's what makes everything worth it.
You know, Nick, a guy that was great at that, I think, you know, your guy and also played for the Yankees, Alfonso Soriano. I think he was that one, some carry to it, right
swing.
center field, and Max Farrell's aboard with a leadoff single. He thought about second. He's going to stay at first.
Really well fielded by both center and left to be able to get there. and cut that off and turn it into a long single, because off the bat it looked like it was going to be able to get all the way to the wall, leading to a 2-bagger. Instead, just a single.
So Gonzalez hitting 270 on the year. And the pitch to him. That one opposite field. And that will drop for a base hit. So the first 2 batters on the singles on early pitches.
Seen a lot of good opposite field hits here in this game so far, and it just seems like when you really time up the ball well, yes, you could pull it and hit it extremely well, but there's nothing more I love to see than when a guy just takes it right over the second baseman's head or the shortstop's head. I mean, the timing was immaculate there, and so all of a sudden now something cooking with nobody out and 2 aboard with a 2-2 game.
Nick, I was saying Alfonso Soriano, a guy who played for the Yankees and won a title with the Yankees, but a guy that always seemed kind of relaxed at the plate. You know, you never saw Alfonso, especially in big spots. I feel like he's a guy who always kind of came up with hits, and it wouldn't always necessarily be a homer. Yeah. Singles guy, maybe occasional double, but.
It definitely seemed like Alfonso could kind of really do whatever you needed him to do, and you know, in his day, more than capable in the outfield, and the type of guy that when he was at the plate, especially when he had an advantage in the count, as a pitcher, you were gripping that ball a little bit tighter than maybe what you normally would, knowing that the possible outcome could be something that had some damage.
Made guys anxious. As Woodson flies out right to second, Fingelson throws to first, and beautiful play from Cal. Fingelson heads up baseball, and they get Gonzalez at the bag.
Yeah, Gonzalez, I mean, it sounded really good off the bat, and you try to get a little bit of a jump, and it was hit so hard to second that, you know, by the time the catch was made, he had no chance, Gonzalez did, of being able to get back, so he's picked off. That's a big-time double play right now, especially when there's 2 on, nobody out. All of a sudden you could get a quick double play with the runner still at second.
Baseball, a game of mere chances, you know. That ball gets through, it's we got the bases loaded here. Maybe even a run scores.
Yeah. And as dusk begins to greet us here at Gates Field, quite the gorgeous backdrop with the mountains far off into the distance, but close enough to where we can get a beautiful view of them, and watching some high-level young baseball players. Doesn't get better than this, eh, Mike?
Having you here is honestly, it's a treat for us, Nick. I mean, to have a real analyst in the booth as well. Looking at the mountains is very nice. Good evening. And that one low and misses 1-1.
And a great job taking that pitch, too, because it looked really good out of the hand. And when you're going left on left and there's a slide piece coming away off the plate, it looks so good for the vast majority of the trajectory of the pitch. Just trying to stay inside of it.
And now misses 2-1.
And working away again, too. And when it's left on left, pitches that are away, they look so good. They look like they could be in the middle of the zone, and then they just drop off the plate right away. So that's why it's so difficult when you're going left on left. But so far, done a really nice job.
Rogers deals that one foul back. Foul tip's going to be 2-2. Dan Zeisen at the dish, hitting .333 on the season. With 2-2 and 2 out. Angel numbers on the board. And strike 3 got him looking. A beautiful pitch from Griffin Rogers for the 3rd out of the inning. And middle of 5, we're tied at 2, Nick.
And since coming in, the accuracy and pinpoint precision of Rogers has looked really strong. He gave up 2 hits to start that inning. The defense came through with the double play. And then the accuracy of that last heater right on the corner, down and away. So tough as a left-handed batter to read where exactly that pitch is going to be when you're going up against the lefty pitcher. He dotted the zone right on the corner. He got a big-time strikeout for an inning that started off looking like it was going to be a battle. They end up giving up no runs on just 2 hits.
We got a new arm on the hill for the Anchors. And Olson taking over for West.
And if I heard correctly, Michael,
Yes, sir.
Salt Lake Community College.
Yeah. Yep.
It's great. Great to see the Utah boys getting really good looks. And, and the one thing I've been so impressed with just being here for a couple hours, and again, thanks to you and Marshall's League and everybody for having me out, but, just the professionalism of which everything here is run. And not just giving these kids a diamond to play baseball on, but giving them facilities and resources to try to take their game to the next level. No matter what kind of player you are, no matter where you're from, no matter where you're going or where you were last year, and if it's going to be different from where you are next year, the vibes and the people in places to make decisions, I think it is something I've been extremely impressed with, because I'll tell you what, no matter what sport it is, every elite level athlete could benefit from playing in a league like this, where you not only can get better, but you're going to be tested each and every game, considering the talent level that seems endless within this league.
Nick, and hats off to Chad Shepard, who runs the league and just does such a great job with these elite guys. I mean, every guy from one after the next, these are elite baseball players, man. I think Chad really harps on this, but it's development. This league is about developing guys, and they do a great job of it every summer. I've seen these guys since June 12th, already improve immensely. So,
and development, success, improvement is never linear. Everybody's at their different pace. Real good start here by Olson. 2 quick heaters. One on the inner half, second one right on the corner, down and away. So he's ahead 0-2, but
Correa at the dish, and he got him on 3 straight pitches.
That looked to be a little bit of a curveball or a slider. And it looked from our vantage point here, right behind the plate, looked to be right down the middle. And in most situations as a hitter, when you're down 0-2 after 2 fastballs, you're thinking that there's going to be some sort of junk or stuff diving out of the zone all the way away or beneath. Wasn't the case. Came right back down the middle. So a really nice pitch sequence there for Olson to know that he saw 2 fastballs, and he's probably predicting that something was going to miss the zone. He ended up with off speed right in the middle.
And that one misses low and in, so 2 on the count.
But in terms of that development, Mike, I mean, everybody's on a different path. And so to at least have the template and to have the canvas to do with what you can, and have great coaches and have the equipment and have the living arrangements taken care of, I think is great, not only for these players, but as we were talking about with Ethan, who was so kind enough to join us, that's got to be great for the schools as well.
Well, Nick, a lot of the coaches like Nicholls State, SC, and Minnesota, they send guys from here. Yeah. And they'll say, hey, Chad, I got a kid who I think, could benefit. And I think the crazy thing is that a lot of people in Utah don't know about this, which is so interesting to me, because is there a better place to watch a baseball game in your opinion?
It's a beautiful view, and you've got these young men who are trying to take their games at the next level. And so I think whether it's Minnesota or no matter the school, you send your player here knowing that they're not only going to continue to stay sharp, but they can improve. Beautiful pitch.
Mason Cantor down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that was off speed. Right beneath the zone, way out in front of it.
So Braden Olson, 2 batters and 2 outs.
And he's done it different ways. First batter he faced was a 3-pitch strikeout. That one a little bit deeper. And he worked a couple of different pitches. He doesn't take very long to throw the ball. He works extremely quickly, and he is dotting the zone right now. Another off-speed pitch right on the corner away.
So 0-1, 2 out, and that one fouled off. This is Nico Paletto. He's been phenomenal in the league Nick, this season so far. Hitting .302. He's from Louisiana. He's going to be at Nicholls State this year. Division I school down south.
Olsen a chance here to go 3 strikeouts for 3 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
And the 0-2, that one up in the letters, 1-2.
That was heat up high, something that Olsen really hasn't thrown a ton in this inning so far. But I'll tell you what, he gets the ball back. That glove's right back up in front of his face, and he's ready to throw.
And Olsen paints the corner like Picasso. And strike 3 called, 3 batters. All 3 of them outs, all three of them Ks. Braden Olsen, the slick kid, doing work on the hill.
That's a beautiful inning. And you knew that each different strikeout was unique in its own way. First one, 3 pitches. Came with off speed right down the middle, not expecting it. Second batter faced, deep count, was able to beat him with some stuff down beneath the zone, and then there at the end, dot in the corner again with a fastball. So as a pitcher, no better feeling than knowing that you've got your command. And if you want to throw it high, it goes exactly where you want. Or you want to throw it down low for a swing and a miss, you can do that. So Olsen, a heck of an inning for him. Not just the strikeouts, but how he was able to strike out the batters using a different pitch mix, going high, going low, going fast, and then taking some speed off of it with some junk in the dirt.
You know, the equivalent, Nick, I would say like a goalie, right? Like late in the game, couple of like saves that were unexpected, maybe a 5-hole save, or right? Wouldn't you say that's kind of a good comparison as a pitcher who's kind of feeling it? You're almost like a goalie, you know?
Yeah, I would say in terms of a goaltender, feeling the puck early and often in games is vital. And there are some guys that can play well and thrive when they don't face a lot of pucks and a lot of shots. But I would say for the vast majority, most guys, when they're seeing a lot of shots, that's when they're really feeling it. And there's so much that goes into goaltending. And it's not just when the puck hits you, but it's the position of which you put yourself in and you orientate yourself to be in the right spot. So when it does hit you, you're covering as much of the net as you possibly can. And then the next level of that is when the opposing team is trying to make life difficult on you and they're crashing the net and they're bumping you a little bit and they're trying to get in your eyes and not allow you to see the puck or not allow you to see it until later, which then you can't react as fast. So as a goaltender, there's always so much going on and so much that you have to account for, not just where the puck is at on the ice, but also where the options are to where that guy can pass it to, and knowing that if he passes it to the left, I got to then move to the left, but also knowing that there's an option over to the right. So I got to like play cat and mouse and think, I got to respect the shot, but also I got to move to the right. So there's so much going on in the mind of a goaltender, similar to what there is for a pitcher.
So a guy like Connor Hellebuck, who takes a ton of shots and has a very high save percentage, is kind of someone who has good command over taking up that net. Am I correct?
Command over the crease.
Command over the crease, correct.
That's what I would call it. And that's beautiful pitch there. Fastball away, just a little bit out in front of it. But a guy like Connor Hellebuck won the Vezina Trophy this year, which is awarded to the best goaltender in the regular season, and played behind the best team in the league in the regular season, the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets.
You know, disappointing season for Winnipeg, considering first seed in the West. You know, you think they'd go further than the than the Western semifinals.
Yeah, a year where in the playoffs you run into a good team, and that's why you got to play the games. And that's what makes the playoffs so special. Is you could be the best team come the end of the regular season, and you could have the player that had the most points, but it's not an automatic bid to the Stanley Cup final. You got to play the games, and all the credit in the world to what Winnipeg did in the regular season, but just haven't been able to get over the hump in recent years.
You know, Edmonton, a good example of that, Nick. You know, you talk about fighting playoff games and that first series W against LA and being down 2-0 and winning that series and fighting. You get to the Cup against a team obviously they're familiar with from last year.
And not just getting to the Cup, Mike, but second year in a row.
Second year in a row.
Where we had Oilers-Panthers, and the Panthers won both those series as the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. So all of a sudden now you're Edmonton. That's quite the roller coaster ride to then be absolutely depressed after both.
Yeah. Yeah, and
doing all that work to get there and grinding and having to live with, especially after the first one before last year, knowing that you made it all that way, you went that far, you put in all that work just to lose, and then you come back, you do it all over again, you do exactly what you need to do, and then you lose again. But still a great team.
And this time, you win game 1. Year prior, you lose the first 3 and you battle to 7.
Yeah.
And so when you win game 1, you lose the next 2. They knotted up at 2 and then lose the following. I mean, we talked about it actually in our interview, but that's got to be really hard for a team's confidence, right? To lose in 7, come back the next year again, win game 1, and then lose in 6.
That's where you just got to go day by day. You got to go game by game. No different than what these elite level athletes in front of us here are trying to do. You got to go game by game. You could have a great game. You could go 3 for 3 with 3 doubles and knock in 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day you're playing again and then you go 0 for 3. But that's why you got to ride the wave and continue. Beautiful pitch there.
When you're
up
hot,
and
you're
away
hot.
with some heat, and you got to ride the wave. And usually, not always, but usually the guys that are the most successful, no matter what level it is, those are the guys that are even keel through the good and the not so good.
Pettigrew swinging a miss, 0-2 in the count.
Yeah, just a little bit behind. Rogers knows that he's been able to get that fastball by. 2 swings now. We'll see if maybe he elects to come with another heater. I think he's got him beat if he gets a little bit of elevation on another fastball.
Rogers steals the 0-2, swing and a miss, got him to chase one. So the first out of the inning comes off a Griffin Rogers K on Pettigrew.
And in that situation, as a hitter, you're late to 2 fastballs, and then all of a sudden there's a breaking pitch down beneath the zone. Just really good pitch mix and sequencing there by Rogers to be able to take care of him. So now 1 out. The double play is in order. Try and end the inning.
Owen Morgan from the University of Oregon at the dish. Swing and a miss, throw down to second is a beauty.
Got him.
Oh, he called him safe.
It was very close. That was an ideal throw. The pop time was perfect, but just able to get, I think, to the back of the bag. And when you're sliding in that type of situation, to avoid the tag, you got to reach with that outside arm more towards center field, that right arm to try and maybe swim around, take that left hand away.
Yeah, there's a strike 0-2.
But I really do like that decision to run when you've got some speed on first. You stay out of the double play, and you set yourself up here with a runner in scoring position.
It was great base running by the Orem kid, Merrick Bostic. You met Merrick before the game out in the field. Yeah. Owen Morgan 0-2, 1 out. And that one is shot to third. A beautiful diving play. The throw to first, not going to be in time, and Merrick's going to stop at third. It's an infield single.
That's a tough play because that ball was hit with some steam. And as soon as it was fielded, a little bit of a trip down to the knees, and then the throw a little bit offline. So now you got runners at the corners. Double play still in order.
And Jackson Norum to the plate. Jackson Norum hitting .226 on the year. Pitch to Norum, that one outside, 1-0.
A favorable batting situation here for Norum against a lefty. Need to see the ball a little bit more, a little bit longer, as that advantage for right-handed batters facing a lefty pitcher.
The 1-0, and that one misses 2-0.
So now you're wondering what's Rogers going to throw here. 2-0. Both pitches not egregiously out of the zone. Does he come with a fastball? But if you're Norm here, you got to be ready to go if you see heat, especially in the zone.
Rogers takes a deep breath, 2-0, 1 out. Park City Kid deals. That one misses 3-0.
It's a really good take because you're rearing up, you're ready to go once it's 2-0, and that was a fastball, but it was above the zone. So now Is he in take mode? Because if he walks, you get the bases loaded and you set yourself up in an even better and a more advantageous situation. But you got to be ready.
And he walked him on a 4-pitch walk. I was going to ask you there, you think he gets the green light, but.
Yeah.
So normal 4-pitch walk, and then we'll come out to talk to Griffin. Bases loaded for the Yankers, and here's Wadelski, who earlier in the game had a base hit. Here he is again.
Yeah, I love that decision, too, to just go talk some things over and give Rogers just some time to just try to get his wits about him. 4-pitch walk. And now a big moment here to try and blow the doors off of this game.
Wadelski, a .278 hitter. Up against the lefty, Rogers, he deals, and first pitch going to be a little high, 1-0.
Yeah, he wanted to swing at that one, did Wadelski, but able to just keep that bat behind home plate, check his swing, and now he has the advantage, 1-0.
1-0, bases loaded, Nate Wadelski. Prime position. 1-0, 1 out, Rogers looks in. And that one clips the zone 1-1.
Right at the knees. You know, Wadelski's reaction, didn't love the call, but nonetheless now it's 1-1 with the bases loaded. So you've had one pitch just above the zone. That one a little bit questionable, but nonetheless at the bottom. We'll see what Rogers comes with here after 2 fastballs.
Rogers. That one popped up right field. Under it. There, this could score a run. And here he comes. It will not be a throw. It's going to be a sacrifice fly to right field. So Wadelski did his job. But decent job by Willie Roberts in right field. Makes the play. That's a tough throw to make. I mean,
it is. It is. And great base running, though, not just for obviously the sac fly for the runner to come home, but for both runners to move up. Tough throw from right, but just really, really heads up base running to be able to have both runners take a base. So now you got 2 in scoring position and a 3-2 lead.
And a new guy, Braden Reynolds, to the plate. I don't think he's had an AB this year. This is going to be his first.
And what a spot, if that is the case, Mike, to have your first AB in a situation where you got a chance to put some insurance runs on the board.
And first pitch strike to Reynolds. Big position, 0-1, 2 out. Oh, 1, 2 out. Rogers looks in. Beautiful night here in the Wasatch Front. 79 degrees. That one fouled back. Quick 0-2.
So now is a time where you got to shorten up. You can't worry about trying to put something in the gap. 0-2 count. Choke up a little bit on that bat, and we'll see if he can come through with just something. Just poke it just past the infield. Maybe stay right up the middle with it. If you do that, you're going to get a 3-run lead.
And that one misses. 1-2. Braden, see who battles here so far. 4 pitch in the AB. Beautiful night. Beautiful night. 1-2, 2 out. Rogers, and got him looking. What a pitch from Griffin Rogers to strike out Reynolds and get out of trouble.
And that's something that Rogers has done consistently the last couple of innings. Big moments, huge pitches to limit the damage. Because if we remember, the bases were loaded. 1 run was able to score on the sac fly. But that to me is a definition of limiting what could have been a lot more damage in Rogers is the accuracy and whatnot. Yes, there have been some base runners, but I think he has had really good control, and that's a big situation to get out of, trailing by 1.
I'm going to stand up now, Nick. I'm getting. I can't sit down too long.
That's okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
You're good seated. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm great.
Just making sure. I want to make sure the camera's still active.
I'm doing great.
We got some viewers, and by the way, we got some comments. The Marshall's account said, "Thanks for joining us, Nick Olczyk."
Very nice. Very nice. My pleasure. My pleasure.
We're waiting on some more. If we can get some comments going here,
We're open to any and all comments, concerns, questions, suggestions.
Jazz Bear might have some questions. I feel like he's usually up to something.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Mike, in the games that you've done so far, what has stood out most to you about these guys, the place of development of which they're in, and the overall competitiveness from game to game? Because you're getting these highly skilled players from all around the country, sometimes all around the world, and you're putting them on a baseball diamond and asking them to compete at a high level.
It's a great question. I think what stood out to me is seeing guys. There's a guy on this Mauvs team who he's not playing tonight, Jaden Lowray, who he's hitting nearly 600. The kid is a hitting machine, and you have guys like him who come out here, and it's got to be frustrating for pitcher, and for other hitters even. This kid coming out, he's hitting 600. And you could tell he is the guy every pitcher wants to face. And I think because you have guys like him playing here, right? These guys have been the best guy on their team for their entire lives until this very moment.
Yeah. Such a great point, because now all of a sudden you're not as big of a fish in a bigger pond, right? As opposed to being the big fish in the small pond where you come from, but. That's why it's all about doing what you can to help the team win and trying to put your mark on these games.
As Hunter fouls that one back, the catcher at the dish, 0-2 in the count.
And Olson coming off an inning where he struck out the side. Had a great pitch mix. And he's got another hitter, 0-2.
Olson plunks him. So Hunter will take his base leadoff guy on for the Mauvs.
And the reaction from Braden Olson. He knew he came inside just a little bit too far. Plunks Hunter. So now a free base runner. And in a game where it's 3-2, the margins are so slim, you just can't afford to give free base runners. So we'll see if
Lau Kong to second, could be two. There's one, and there's two. A 4-6-3 double play. And beautifully done. Nice throw by Diego Gonzalez at short, and Owen Morgan ignites it at second base.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous play, because it was just a quick little flip to the bag. Not the catch, turn your body, shovel it over. It was just a quick little flip and allowed the quick turn from second to first. It's exactly what you're looking for there if you're on the mound.
What's your biggest takeaway so far, Nick, just in the limited time you've been out here at Gates Field?
I think in some of the interactions I've had with these young guys is the maturity level. These guys are here to get better. But as we've seen with Ethan, who joined us a little bit earlier, these guys got personalities, and there's hooting and hollering going on. These guys are having fun.
They do chirp.
And while they're getting better and doing what they love, they're having fun with it. And look, there's a lot of different ways to live your life, but the enthusiasm and the energy levels have been things that I've been very pleased to see as Olson comes by with another heater.
It's going to fill the count 3-2. Olson the payoff, and that one missed.
And just to have these players from all different places too. And I think that can only breed good things for what the Marshall League has done, and giving these guys the opportunity to compete at a high level.
First pitch to Friends in there for a strike, so 0-1.
And you could tell their friend was not expecting that first pitch off speed. And there's another great pitch from Olsen. So now all of a sudden he's ahead 0-2, 2 outs. What's going to be the put-away pitch here? Back-to-back off-speed pitches.
Friend, clocks one to short. Gonzalez there, easy play to second. So ground 4-6, and that'll be the inning.
Tell you what, the way Gonzalez is able to get that ball in and out of his glove, it's at an elite level.
Yep.
And we saw it not once just there, but twice when he turned the double play to get the first and second out of that last inning.
Yep.
And he's got such a good feel for it, it seems. And that last, I mean, that was hit by Friend on a rope, and it bounced just a little bit out in front of him, and he was able to glove it, not get too far ahead of himself, allow the ball to get in the glove, and then a quick throw to get the force at second. You know, playing shortstop, that's an involved position. That's not for the faint of heart. And so to be able to have quick hands, not just a strong arm, not just quick feet, but quick hands, I think that's the skill, one of the skills at least, that separates guys that are elite at that level and at that position as opposed to others who struggle a bit.
You know, I think a guy like Jaden Lowray, a shortstop, very similar skill to Diego, a guy you can turn to like nobody's business. And these guys are doing that. And, you know, before I came out here, Nick, I'm like, are these guys going to be able to turn to? You know, and not only do they do it, but they do it often.
And I think about it in the world that I come from in terms of hockey terms. You know, when you're trying to score on a goaltender, it's not always how hard you shoot the puck. You know, most of the times, more than not, it's about how quickly you can release it off your stick.
Yep.
And kind of catch the goaltender off guard, not expecting the shot to come when it does. I think it's very much the same for second baseman and especially shortstop. How quickly can you get that ball in and out of your glove and to the desired base where it needs to go for a double play or to get the force at second like we just saw from Diego Gonzalez.
And speak of the devil, lead off the inning is Diego. First pitch is going to be inside.
Yeah, interested to see here the way he approaches this at bat against the left-handed pitcher. Good take there on a pitch down and away.
Diego committed to USD this year.
And another good take there. So back-to-back pitches for balls for Rogers. And the advantage for Diego. We'll see if he can light something up here if he gets a pitch in the zone.
Diego watches another one, 3-0. The 3-0 Rogers takes a deep breath, looks in, deals, and no green light, strike one.
Yeah, he was taking the whole way there, was Diego. Kind of went into that at bat there with the knees a little bit straightened out. So now, if you see it, you're hitting this one in a 3-1 count.
Diego skies one to center field. Tracking in there. It's going to be shallow right, and that'll be the first out of the inning from the Aussie, Cal Fingleson.
And I'll tell you what, Mike, you know, more so when the sun is out and it plays a role as opposed to now that the darkness has cascaded upon us.
Yep.
You know, to have that communication on the field for high fly balls. You know, for watching games that I do, a lot of Chicago Cubs games when the wind starts swirling. There's a good amount of wind here too in Utah, especially when you fly in here. You know that. I don't think I've ever had a flight in where there's no turbulence. We'll see if there can be a play on that one. Doesn't look like it. That's going to get out of play.
0-1 to Woodson.
Just a little bit late on that high fastball by Woodson, but you know, there has to be such great communication, especially in the outfielders that are coming in that have a much more comfortable chance at making a catch on a high fly ball as opposed to an infielder who's trying to back up. It's more of an unnatural position trying to run backwards and looking up and trying to catch it. So, you know, to have that talk and the communication from the outfielders coming in, either calling off that infielder or helping him out a little bit, letting them know that he's got time.
By the way, we got some comments from Facebook.
Wow.
Janelle Chavez says, I'm a first-time watcher and senior citizen, so please bear with me.
Hi, Janelle. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your participation.
What a class act. She said, I'm really enjoying the game. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Janelle. We're happy to have you.
Wow.
Good to have you aboard.
You are a great citizen.
Yeah.
That I will say.
Absolutely. 2-2 in the count. Nick, it's great to have you in the booth, man. I mean, if you'll come back, we'd love to have you for the postseason.
Pleasure.
Calling some great baseball.
Pleasure to be here, Mike.
Yeah.
It's a great time and a privilege getting to watch these.
And that one lined deep to left field at the wall, and that'll be out of here for a home run. Good night to that one, Hayden Woodson. And it's 4-2. Anchors up.
Speaking of a privilege, it was a privilege to see that swing from Woodson. And it was a fastball, upper half, and he was all over it as he celebrates with his teammates. They make their way out of the dugout, the celebratory line that he goes through. And that was a perfect swing.
And that one a victim of the altitude.
And that was, I mentioned the phrase frozen rope earlier in the game. That was a line drive.
As that one shot between the 3-4 hole and a board is Caleb Dan Zeisen on the first pitch.
Dan Zeisen with another great swing there, and he had his eyes on that ball the whole time. And out in right field, there was a little bit of a bobble, a little bit of an overstep. But good on him to return to first because he took a little bit of a turn, and he thought that there was a chance that he was going to be able to get two. But he'll settle for a base hit, and we are going to get a pitching change here in the 7th inning.
It'll be the end of the day for Griffin Rogers. Nick, I'm going to take a quick break myself. Or how do you feel?
Let's take a break.
Take a break. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for bearing with us, guys. Braden Nelson now on the hill. Nick Olchek, Michael Goodkind on the call with you. We're happy to be here on a beautiful Sunday night baseball for the Marshals League. And Braden Nelson on the hill. And Merrick Bostic to the dish. 1-2, 1 out. Nelson, the righty, pitches to Bostic, and that one a hot shot to the left side of the field, and Bostic aboard with a single. Runner moves to second base. We got first and second with 1 out.
A real nice swing there, and I'll tell you what, a very funky delivery from the mound. Not something you traditionally see, but as a hitter, really does kind of throw you off once you see that arm angle come from really the side. Not quite the full submariner type of pitching style, but pretty darn close.
Braden Nelson, a kid from Salt Lake Community College, hometown Riverton, Utah, right here in our backyard.
Love to see these Utah natives.
Remember Mike Myers? By chance, do you remember Mike? Played for the Red Sox.
The actor.
No, the actor, but the submarine pitcher for
Austin
the Sox.
Powers is who you're
but
talking
there
about.
was a submarine pitcher for the Sox. And a similar delivery. I haven't seen a guy pitch like that since Mike Myers. 1-1, 1 out, and that plunked him. So the bases are loaded with 1 down.
And if you look off into the distance, you might even see some fireworks.
It's beautiful.
Just to deep center field. Did you have a good July 4th, Mike?
I was here. It was great, man. The thing was we got underway pretty late because the first game got rained out. So we were not underway until, we did not get underway until like 9 o'clock here. So as he plunked him, and that will score a run.
Wow. So
Morgan.
Yeah, back to back hit by pitches. And the Anchors are able to tack on another run. So now it's 5-2. With the bases still loaded and only 1 out.
And here's Jackson Norm to the dish. 5-2 game.
Norm, a tall guy, really has more of an upright stance in the box, and we'll see if he can find a way here with the bases juiced.
Braden Nelson inherited a tough situation. That was not his earned run either, I don't think, because, it wasn't his earned run. So 5-2, and the submarine pitcher from Riverton, Utah on the hill. And that one clocked foul. Got a hold of that one.
And Norm all ready for that first pitch heat. And a really healthy hack at that one, but just a little bit too far out in front. We talked about with Ethan earlier.
Yeah.
Being ready to expect a first pitch strike. Something that could really pay off.
Fireworks still going off here in the night sky. Now the other night, Nick, it looked like the Sandlot. It was crazy. And the pitch, that one, it missed. I'm not sure where that missed personally, but
it looked to me like just a little bit beneath the knees.
Just missed the zone.
Yeah.
1-1.
And we'll see if Norm can create some of his own fireworks here with something into a gap.
And that,
with the bases loaded and only 1 out.
Norm 226 on the year. Big AB for him.
Deep into the night sky. But another low pitch, so that means the last 3 pitches have all been beneath the. if you're Norham, you can get a hold of one if you get a little bit more elevated. Middle up.
2-2, 1 out. Jaden Lowray in our tunnel over here. Looking to pinch hit and lead things off. Looks like for the bottom of the 7th inning. Mauvs need something. Strike 3 called. Nice pitch from Braden Nelson. And here's Nathan Wadelski to the dish, and the bases loaded.
Now an opportunity for Wadelski to pick up his teammate. He's got that low crouch stance.
And that one clocked right to Mallard. Tough play, couldn't make it. 1 run will score. Here comes the second. So that is a 2-run single. Nonetheless, he gets tagged out into pickle, but Pettigrew scores and Bostic scores. And Wadelski will take the ribby, 7-2 lead.
Yeah, he drove in a big-time run there. And he took a really big turn at first. And I think the reason why he took such a big turn is because he thought there was going to be a throw home. And with the throw home, that would allow him to at least get into scoring position and stretch his single into a double. But a good recognition play in right field to not necessarily throw home, because you knew you probably weren't going to be able to get the runner considering the jump that was taken at second originally.
Yep.
And Wadelski, yes, he gets tagged out in a rundown, but he'll be credited with a base hit and 2 ribbies, which creates a good amount of insurance for the Anchors as they lead it by 5 stretch time here at Gates Field.
Fingalson will lead things off. Like I said, I saw Lowray. Looks like he will be somewhere in the on-deck circle here shortly, as Fingalson's going to lead things off to start the inning.
Mike, what was the first baseball game you ever went to?
That's a good question. I went to a lot. My dad was a season ticket holder for the Yankees, so I would go to the old Yankee Stadium quite often. It
must be nice to have the last name Goodkind.
It was nice, Hey, you got to go to a couple hockey games in your day.
Just a few.
Just a few.
It's not like my second home was an ice rink.
Yeah. This guy he's terrible. Dude, night and day. Night and day. Night and day. You want to come on here, Morgan? You want to come on here? Yeah. Who would you elect as your player of the game currently?
Leading off for the Mauvs here in the bottom of the 7th. The second baseman.
What did Wadelski get the homer? No. Hold on. All right, Cal Fingalson will lead things off, the Australian kid, and that one misses 1-0. Got to get guys on here, Nick.
You can't do it all in one swing. So the mindset right now for the Mavs is to get ducks on the pond. And it's a good start here to the at-bat, down or ahead 2-0. And it doesn't matter how you get on, whether it's a hit or a walk. This is a situation where the Mavs just got to worry about going batter by batter, putting balls in play and getting on base.
Fingalson swinging a miss 2-1.
He really wanted to have a big-time hack at that one. It was another lower pitch towards the knees. Just couldn't quite get down to it enough.
Nope, safe on that one.
Strong enough wrists and forearms to keep that bat back because his whole body wanted him to swing, but his hands held back.
Fingalson, 270 hitter on the year, and you can tack on to his OBP, which is 400 with the walk.
So that's a great start for the Mavs. That's exactly what you're looking for. And now you got some power coming to the plate.
And Logan Mallard to the plate with a runner on first. Pitch to Mallard, and first pitch strike.
Mallard steps out of the box a little bit further to buy himself a little bit more time, especially with how quickly Olsen likes to work.
And plunked him. So first 2 guys on for the Mauvs.
So you mentioned, Mike, you got to get some base runners. Well, here you go.
Yeah.
A walk and a hit by pitch. And the door is completely ajar right now to get back into this game. But this, to me, is make or break.
Yep.
This inning, you have to come through with a couple of runs. Sure, you want to tie it, but you just got to inch a little bit closer. See if they can do that here with 2 on and nobody out.
Correa to the plate. And there's a strike to Correa. Oh, 1-1-2, or first and second. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in with us. If you have any questions for Nick Olczyk as well, please provide those in the chat. We would really appreciate. We always appreciate the comments that you guys have.
Well, what about questions for Michael Goodkind?
I'm here every night, Nick.
Yeah, well, people want to, people want to ask you questions.
I'll answer a couple.
They want to know how do you get your hair looking so nice. You woke up like that, I bet, right?
I might have. You got nice hair too.
A bobble.
Nick,
Wow.
Bobble, and that loads the bases.
A
So
tough
Correa
play.
aboard.
And I don't think that the vision of the ball was helped at all by the base runner moving from second to third. So now, bases loaded, nobody out.
And Mason Cantor will come to the plate.
It's a big-time situation here. A bobbled ball, allowing runners to reach. And this is the time right now if they want to find a way to get back into this ball game. Opportunity is right for the taking.
Yeah, first pitch to Cantor from Louisiana. Mason Cantor, Nicholls State kid, big opportunity. And that one misses 2-0. Olsen looks in, ducks on a pond. Deals, and that one misses 3-0.
Yeah, Olsen's just really struggling with his command right now. I mean, he started off the inning with a walk, and then he hit Mallard. And then there was the infield single on the bobble, which I'm not sure if it was going to be scored as an error, and now he's behind 3-0. Just got to find a way to get back in the zone.
And no green light. I'll take a strike.
That's how you do it. I mean, yeah, and in that situation, you're thinking take all the way. There's already a walk in the inning, 3 straight balls. So now this is when you see it, you got to drive.
To run home. And Olsen, his first ER tonight. And Pauletto to the plate.
Yeah, you would think definitely a meeting at the mound coming here, and perhaps something a little bit more. And a new pitcher coming in, you would think. And to think that Olsen's first inning, he struck out the side.
Yep.
And he was looking lights out like no one could hit him.
Yep.
Changing up pitch mix, changing speeds, location. And it looks like they might keep him in the game here, which shows a lot of trust, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So a meeting at the mound, everybody gives a couple of fist bumps, and I think it gives Olsen just a little bit more time to just breathe and get back to what makes him, or what made him an effective pitcher the first time he came out onto the mound a couple innings ago.
Olsen, big spot here.
And I think a first pitch strike could do him a lot of good, not just to get ahead, but for his confidence. And if you're the hitter, I think you're taking the whole way.
Did he? Yes, he did. So 1-0.
That's a real confidence booster there for Olsen to get a first pitch strike.
Pauletto pops one in a right field, and that drops for a base hit. Mallard scores. Here comes another one. He will score. And what's the situation? Throw down a third. Lowray scores. Mallard scores. And tack on 2 more for the Mauvs. Make it 7-5.
A gorgeous swing. Stayed through it, stayed in the middle of the ball, and still nobody out with the runners at the corners.
No lead is safe in the Marshals lead, Nick. Hunter cracks one foul. Look good.
I think that ball was hit into tomorrow, Mike, but just early to it.
Yeah.
But the timing, just out in front.
And there's a strike.
Yeah, he wanted that one too, but wasn't expecting an off-speed pitch. That's a great pitch from Olson. Little backdoor breaker to steal a strike, so now 0-2.
0-2 to Hunter. And that missed 1-2.
And all of a sudden, the Anchors lead of 7-2 is now close to disappearing. 2-run lead now only with a 7-5 score.
1-2. And make it 2-2. No, 1-2 stays. I got my count mixed up there.
It's okay, Mike. No
Stays
one heard.
1-2. Yeah. Yeah. You heard, though.
I did hear it.
You heard it.
I did.
1-2. Hunter takes right back to the screen. And nearly
Add that to the highlight
to Nick.
reel.
Yeah.
Not the blooper reel, the highlight reel, because showing off the great reactions. How about that, huh?
You
flinched because I flinched, right? I'm gonna embrace it. I did. I saw a baseball coming, probably 68.4 miles an hour at my head, and I didn't trust the screen.
And that's a wild pitch. The runner thought about it at third. Cantor will retreat back. Hey, dude, my first game here, Dave Joseph's in the booth with me. You know Dave from the hockey club?
Of course I do. I think Dave does a phenomenal job at Delta Center.
He's fantastic. So Dave's in the booth with me. And it's the 3-2. And they walk Ryan Hunter, so the bases are loaded.
Third walk of the inning. And still nobody out. So you wonder, there is a pitcher up and throwing in the Anchors' pen. And the inning has already been way extended.
And the Hawaiian kid, Lau Kong, to the plate. First pitch ball, 1-0. And now if you're Olsen here on the hill, no outs, but your confidence with the bases loaded here.
3 walks in the inning. So the only thing should be on Olsen's mind is just getting in the zone.
And he does there, 1-1.
And if you're at the plate, patience. Make him throw a strike. Don't swing at balls. I think that might have been a little bit low. I think he just swung at a ball.
And that one cracked to third, and that gets through. Lau Kong with an RBI single. Here comes one more. Will there be a throw? Yes, a beauty on the way. The run will score. Nico Pauletto's in there, and we are tied at 7.
The ball has not only been scalded in this inning, but it has taken some big-time jumps on infielders that are playing a little bit closer to home plate to try and maybe throw home to get out there and prevent a run. Now is going to be the pitching change. So things quickly go south for Olsen after he started. His outing was outstanding. It seemed like nobody was going to be able to hit him. They couldn't touch us here. He was dotting the corners of the zone, breaking pitches, down low, was fooling everybody. And then as this ball game has gone along, his outing ends in a lot more of it. But give credit. The Mauvs have done a great job. They've remained patient at the plate. And to think at the beginning of this inning, they were down by 5.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden we got a tie ball game because of the patience that they've had at the plate. And when the pitches have been there in the zone, they've capitalized and hit it hard.
Nick, no lead is safe in the Marshals baseball. I mean, I said it. No lead is safe. I've seen guys come down 10-3. I mean, and this is a league that if you're a pitcher, you got to have command.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Late in the game, 7th inning, the team's hungry, and they'll do what it takes to get guys on.
And 2, for as hard as a couple of those balls were hit,
Yep.
it took some nasty jumps on a couple of the infielders. Remember, there was the bobble at short.
Yep.
That time, a really tough play to make at third when it's coming at you, and then about 3.5 feet in front, it takes a jump way and it ends up going above your left shoulder. So give credit all the way around, but now again a tough situation still for the Anchors. Nobody out.
Yeah,
and a new pitcher coming in for the Anchors.
Laukong from Hawaii ties the game. Hit of the night right there. 5-6 hole goes right over, pretty much right over the head of third baseman Woodson. And we're tied here at 7. I mean, Nick, we go into this inning. Who would have thought we'd be tied at 7? No outs, you know.
And there's nothing better than, I think hitting is contagious. I really do. Once one guy starts feeling it in an inning, especially like this, positive juices get flowing.
Yep.
The hooting and hollering picks up. And now the confidence, I think, is obviously at an all-time high in this game for the Mauvs. And what a chance to now take the lead with a runner in scoring position at second, and also one at first.
Willie Roberts shows bunt. It was a beauty, but goes foul. 0-1.
Yeah, I like that idea there. You still got no outs. Trying to move that go-ahead run into third, so then all you need to do is pretty much just put a ball in play and you take the lead. What an inning that would be for the Mauvs to come through and not only tie the game, but take the lead here. See if maybe he elects to try to think about laying down another bunt, but everybody's certainly aware, especially those on the left side of the infield.
And shows bunt again, fouls back 0-2. Nelson still, Park on the hill now, Austin Park, number 23 for the Anchors, replacing Olsen. So 0-2 in the count. Austin Park looking in 0-2. Runners on first and second. And he deals, and swing and a miss, got him. So first batter, 3-pitch strikeout. So Roberts down on strikes. His struggles continue. He's been hitting 237 on the season prior to that AB.
Well, that's exactly what you're looking for there for Park. Didn't have to dig too deep into his pitching repertoire. You get a big-time strikeout. Now the double play's in order.
Yeah, swing and a miss, first pitch.
He's got a real good funky action on that breaking pitch, especially down and away to a right-handed batter. It comes towards the zone above it and then just drops down into the bottom third.
Trav Friend did the dish, and the pitch, swing and a miss, 0-2. So 0-2, one out. Runners on first and second. Nick Olczyk in the booth tonight. So good to have you here, dude.
Pleasure to be here, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic stuff. Austin Park on the hill. He deals the 0-2. That one, 5-6 hole. Going to be a tough play. Throw it to second in time, on to first. And there will not be a throw. So good heads-up move from the third baseman Woodson. No throw on a first from Owen Morgan.
Right decision by Morgan not to throw. Beating it down the line. It would have been, nothing's impossible, but it would have been a really difficult throw to make on time to get the double play. So at least this way, now you got runners at the corners again. But a good decision by Morgan not to throw and live to make another play.
And the Sydney kid, Cal Fingelson, to the plate with 2 outs. Fingelson, first pitch, that one in there for a strike. Nice pitch.
Right at the top of the zone, coming with heat. And Fingelson turns around to ask our umpire if that was the top of the zone. He agreed. And an 0-1 count.
Austin Park, breaking ball, that hit, so 2.
It looked really good. I think he was expecting heat again, and his hands were out front. Couldn't check his swing, and so Park has an opportunity here to get the Anchors out of this inning after having led by 5. Now at least you get out tied if he's able to come through with an out.
Trav Friend moves to second on the play. He stole second, no throw. Austin Park, 0-2. And the pitch. Breaking ball, opposite field. Finkelson got one. Is that going to stay fair? No, it goes foul. Would have been trouble.
Very close.
Oh.
Very close, and I would assume a lot of breaths were held in the anchor dugout along with me.
Yeah.
I wasn't breathing. I was opposite field hit that just landed foul. Couldn't have been more than an inch or two foul.
Kind of like the Carlton Fisk 1975 home run, against the Reds. Foul or fair, stays fair, homer. Park deals, and that one just missed 1-2. Nick, if you ever get to go to Fenway Park, though, the left field pole. I used to be a tour guide at Fenway Park.
Who's to say I've never been?
Have you been?
I have been.
Okay. Well, there you go. Did you know it's called the Fisk pole, the left field pole?
I did not.
Yeah, because I'll tell a story in a second. I was a tour guide, like I said. 1-2, and high in the letters, Finkelson chased it, and that's the inning.
That is one heck of a pressure pitch for Park. He comes into the ball game in a really difficult position, and the Anchors are able to escape with a 7-7 tie after 7.
As a hitter there, Nick, that's a tough position to be in. Finkelson, chased one up in the zone, but you got to protect down 2 strikes.
Park has a really good mix. He had a couple of breaking pitches beneath the zone. He worked away, and that is the put-out pitch, elevated heat. But you got to get it up enough to the point where the batter can't get to it. But there's that fine line of going too high to where as soon as it leaves his hand, you're seeing it. And, of course, you're not going to swing at it because it's way out of the zone. So there is a really delicate balance when you're pitching in the upper third. And since coming into the ball game, Park, he gave his team a chance at that inning since he came in. And we got a 7-7 barn burner.
Barn burner, man.
Working into the 8th. And
good pitching, too. We've seen good pitching along the way.
I mean, there's been outings that have been good all the way through. You think about our 2 starters that really didn't let up a ton of runs.
Yep.
And a couple of outings, too, that started really good and then ended up not so good. But that's why you learn and, of course, try to get better. So now the Anchors will have their chance to respond. And much like life, the game of baseball is all about getting back up once you get punched. And once you give up 5 runs in an inning, how can you respond?
Yep.
We'll see if the Anchors can do just that from the plate.
Leading off for the Anchors here at the top of the 8th out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Number 20, Braden Reynolds.
Andrew White now on the hill from MSU Billings. He's from Magna, Utah. And previously was at college, CSI College Southern Idaho and Slick. And the first pitch, there's just, no, that's in there, 0-1.
Yeah, that was right on the black. That's exactly how you want to start an at-bat as a pitcher. Fastball away. You set the corner.
White deals the 0-1. That one's sky to left field. It's got some carry to it at the track. And Friend there to retire it for the first out of the inning.
That was heat on the inner half. And that was hit very well. But as we've seen, even some balls that have been hit good haven't had enough carry.
Reynolds, a beautiful swing there. Guy that obviously, like we said, it was one of his first games with the Anchors and here in the Marshals League, and the altitude just not enough to take that one out.
And now it's Diego Gonzalez batting with 1 out.
Diego, first pitch, swings, chops it foul.
That was a fastball up. I think the timing was good, but just didn't get up that bat up enough in the plane to be able to meet that ball flush.
0-1. Andrew White on the hill. 1 down. And White deals the 0-1. That one misses, evens the count.
White works that second pitch away. So now he's got Gonzalez looking away. Does he maybe come inside here? No, he stays away.
So 2-1 in the count. Andrew White, position for the Mauvs. Can they maintain a 7-7 tie headed to the bottom of the 8th? Give themselves a chance. It's only going 8. 2-1, 1 out. And White deals, and that one misses. 3-1 in the count.
It's a real patient at bat here by Diego Gonzalez. First pitch fastball, he fouled it way up above our heads. Next couple pitches away, that last one down and in. He's got the advantage.
Diego smacks one into center field, and that is in there for a base hit. So the shortstop aboard.
Just a professional at bat from Diego Gonzalez. He's been all over it in the field today. First pitch fastball fouled, remained patient, didn't get too far out of himself, and that time, I mean, that's a base hit no matter what league you're playing in, Marshall's League or Major League. Stayed true and threw that fastball and deposited a line drive right to shallow center. So now he's on. See if maybe he tries to take second.
Andrew White looks in and deals. Funky form. That one is second. Fingelson, tough play. Throw to short. Yes, got him at the bag. And 2 down.
And Castillo able to act just a little bit enough of a decoy and a screen, not allowing that play to develop as the Mauvs would have wanted. And respecting 90, burning it down the line to be able to make it to first as well. So 2 outs and still a chance for the Anchors to try and break through and take the lead here in the top of the 8th.
Dan Zeisen at the dish. Catching tonight, and with 2 down, runner on first. And can the Anchors strike in the inning? Make it tough for the Mauvs. We'll see. A game that was a 7-2 lead just an inning ago. Mauvs broke it open in the bottom half. White deals, and that missed. So 2-0, 2 out. Andrew White from Magna, Utah, played at Cypress High School.
See if White can get back into the count here. It's 3-0. I think in a hitter's perspective, pitches really haven't been that close. Maybe the first one was. I think you're taking here.
That one. Smoke to short, tough play, step on the bag. Cantor does, and that is the top half of the 8th. 7-7 tie. We're staying here.
And that's why I talk about hockey.
Yeah.
Because I say take, and it was a beautiful swing and a little bit more elevation underneath it. That one's dumped into shallow left center. But a really nice swing on 3-0, and I think that's sometimes more of a theory. And you got to know the situation, too, especially if there was a walk in the inning and 3 straight balls are thrown, depending on if either of those were close or not. But a really healthy hack there. And now, bottom of the 8th. Is this the last inning, Mike?
This is it.
Even
Bottom half of the 8th.
Even if it's tied?
Even if it's tied.
Even if it's tied.
That's Dusty right there. He's the pitching coach. He will. He's big on maintaining their arms. So
yeah.
If it's tied at the end of 8, no, that's a wrap.
Okay.
I'd love to go extras tonight. Make this 9, but
for as much as I would love to too, I'm more worried about protecting the arms and the bodies of these young men to make sure that they're ready to go and play for years to come, not just play another couple of innings. So selfishly, yes, extra innings is always great.
Yep.
But
but for the future of the youth.
For the good of the future of the game.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Bylar, have a wonderful night. Austin Park on the hill from Nephi, Utah. Went to Joab High School in Nephi. Player of the Year, 3A first team, All-State.
Really?
Yeah. Kid can hit, 460 average in high school.
Yeah, he came in a high leverage situation last inning and gave his team a chance to get out of that inning tied at 7. So now a big opportunity for the Mauvs to try and walk it off here.
Mallard struggling this season.
And we've
Big
seen,
AB for him, 179.
We've seen some frustration from Mallard in this game. You know what would wipe all that frustration away?
Yeah.
Putting that ball to where those fireworks where we saw them earlier in the night.
He can do that. He's got a bat on him. 1-0 in the count. Park quick delivery, comes in and deals, swing and a miss. We're knotted at 7, bottom 8. Mallard, big spot. Swing and a miss again, 1-2.
That's some sink and some heat on that one down and away. But now you can't go after a bad pitch here.
1-2, Mallard takes 2-2.
It's a great take. The front half of his body wanted to swing, but his back half and his arms said no. Great job holding back. Now a 2-2 count.
Last time the dish, HBP for Mallard, and nearly had that again. And we're going to fill the count at 3-2.
A walk works just as well as a base hit.
With the bases empty, that is.
In this situation, yes.
Mm-hmm. And on deck, Jaden Lowray as Mallard swings and misses, and he is frustrated. Walk back to the dugout for him as Jaden Lowray, the near 600 hitter, pinch hitting, comes to the plate. Had the day off, but here he comes. Hitting .569 so far on the season.
Is that good? That is excellent, and what a great pleasure to be able to see this young man take a bat here in a big spot.
Yeah, first pitch fouls it back to the screen, 0-1. Frustrated with that hack for some reason, but any idea why?
I think it's because it was a fastball in the inner half, and he thought he could have drove it all the way past those houses in the distance.
Yeah, okay. And he takes one, 1-1.
Good take, and he's even got that Juan Soto flair type of lower body movement whenever he sees a very clear ball.
The 1-1 to Lowray. Breaking ball, and that missed, 2-1. Had a lot of movement to it.
Yeah. Ever since that first pitch fastball in the inner half, Park has stayed away. 2-1 advantage now for Lowray.
A breaking ball again, skied right center field, and that will go to the wall. Lowray extra bases, rounded for second. He will get there easily, and a stand-up double for the BYU kid.
It's a beautiful swing, a heck of an at-bat. He just missed the first pitch he saw. 2 really nice takes on pitches that were away, and he stays through the ball. Doesn't try to be too early to it and pull it. That's a beautiful swing. And now the game-winning run is at second.
Mason Cantor from Houma, Louisiana, Nichols State kid at the dish. Pitch to him, first pitch strike. It's a tense one.
Is it ever?
0-1. Austin Park on the hill. Low-Ray at second. And Cantor swings it. That one pokes it to left. That could score Low-Ray. Round of 30's on his horse. The throw is on the way. It will not get there. The Mauvs are going to walk it off in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Mason Cantor is the hero.
How about that? Another opposite field hit. A wonderful swing. And you just knew that he was going to score from second. And what a ball game. It started off, didn't look like we were going to get a lot of runs. And then all of a sudden the bats woke up for both teams. And congratulations to the Mauvs as they walk it off in the bottom of the 8th inning. A heck of a game that saw twists and turns and battles. That's how a ball game should be played.
Well, a 7-2 lead that was diminished in the bottom of the 7th inning by the Mauvs. Make it 7-7. This one could have ended in a tie, but
what a comeback!
Low-Ray with the double with one out.
As you said earlier, no lead is safe in the Marshals League.
Yeah.
And to the credit of the Mauvs, you're down by 5. It's not like being down by 2 or 3. You know, five runs, it's a lot of runs. But they had that huge, it was sixth inning, I think, of which they were able to find a way to come all the way back. Give them a lot of credit for hanging in there. You get the pinch hit, double, and the rest is history.
Couldn't have ended better, honestly. Nick, can you stick around for 1 second? We're going to get Low-Ray in here and Cantor for a quick interview.
Sure.
Okay. We'll stay with us, folks. Give us about 30 seconds. We'll be right back for a post-game interview on the walk-off. Fun night at Gates Field.
What's the kid's name? Mason Cantor. No, the other kid?
Jaden Low-Ray. All right, we're back here in the booth. Check your mic real quick.
Hello.
Yeah, Jaden, you're on. Okay. Let me get us full screen here on the post game. Okay, there we are. Okay, we got Jaden Low-Ray, Nick Olczyk, Michael Goodkind. Nick, why don't you lead us off here?
Jaden, what was going through your mind there? It was a big spot, and to be able to come through with a double there. What were you thinking in the box?
Yeah, I've just been doing my thing all year, just trying to find the barrels. That's what I've been saying is, and that, no one on, I'm just trying to get on no matter what it is, I wasn't even trying to hit a double there, just trying to find a barrel. And I know these guys in the dugout look up to me as a guy, and, that's all I'm just trying to do, just keep being the guy for these guys and help these guys move to more wins in the column and, just do my thing.
I mean, the confidence in that piece of hitting, what was it? What was the count? 1-0, or was it 1-1?
2-0.
It was a 2-0.
I believe it was 2-0. Yeah.
What gave you the green light there and the confidence to shoot it to the gap and land on second with a double?
Oh, yeah. So actually it was 2-1 actually, but he threw 2 off speeds after the fastball my first pitch, and neither were strikes. So I kind of knew that I thought another fastball was coming. So I was sitting dead red fastball, but my swing plays to right center a lot, so being able to stay on the baseball a lot helps and keeping a flat bat path. But, when I saw it hanging and I got my foot down early, I'm just trying to go that way. So, it just worked out for the best.
Jaden, this is my first time seeing you play. It seemed like in the box when you took that first ball after the pitch, you just missed on the first pitch fastball. Seemed like you had a little shake of the hips, almost like a little Juan Soto type of seeing the ball. Like, where does that flair come from? It's obvious you love the game of baseball,
yeah.
right? But you love to see people that have personality and they've got a unique way about them. Where does that come from for you?
Yeah, I mean, I always looked up to guys like that, Juan Soto, Tatis, all those guys that have flair like that. And, I just try to put that into my game too. And, I'm all about confidence. If you don't have confidence in this game, you're not going to be successful. So, I'm just seeing the ball super well this summer, and that confidence is open. I feel as good as ever I have been. So, I know I'm better than the pitcher, any of these pitchers here in this league. So, I'm just going head to head and I'm just doing my thing. And when I'm in the box, I'm in my own zone. So, kind of just happens. But I've always been a flair guy.
And the last one for me, in terms of how you play and that confident mindset and mentality that you attack not only each game with, but each at bat with. What's next for you? How can you continue to get better in your game? I'm sure every facet, but especially in the batter's box as a hitter. How can you try to get your game to the next level?
Yeah, definitely been here. It's helped a lot. Facing good pitching all the time, but working on the weaknesses in the cage. A lot of guys like to work on like stuff that makes them feel good, and that's not what it's about in the cage. You got to work on stuff that you're not good at, so that way when you work on the stuff that you're good at, it's just a little practice to work on that, but when you really work on the things you're not good at, it can only help you in the actual game. So, like in the cages, I'm preparing for stuff away because I know I can go and pull a ball, but how good can I stay in the right center gap, going to right field? And, it's paid off super well this summer. So,
and it paid off tonight?
Absolutely.
Just real quick, the adrenaline. I mean, you're sweating bullets out here, obviously.
Yeah.
You ran 180 feet, or no, more than 180 feet, I guess, to home plate, 360 all around. Let's talk about the adrenaline just being on second base, and that I'd be with Mason Cantor.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's been my guy this whole summer. We even have like a thing where we got to high five each other before we go to the plate. And just that connection with him I have. I mean, we've been hitting together. And it's just like I know he's got my back and I got his back. So, and he's been super great for us this summer. So, I knew when he was up to the plate, we had a really good chance to win that game.
Jaden, congratulations,
Awesome.
man.
Absolutely. Thank
Best
you so
of
much.
luck.
I appreciate
Best
it.
of luck.
Thanks, man. Going to the
guy.
draft, actually, what is it, 2 weeks away?
I leave on Friday.
Leave on Friday. There you go.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
I
man.
appreciate it.
Best
Thank
You're
you
awesome,
guys.
Jaden
Yes, sir.
Lowray.
Thank
Hitting
you.
569 in the season. Now you're up to like 580 after that one. So, all right, that was awesome. Nick, that was tons of fun. A lot of fun.
Great job, Mike. Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, pleasure having you, man, honestly.
Thanks to everybody, and this is, a really great experience for me to be able to be part of a sport that I love, and I think even more importantly, aside from a great experience with you, just seeing how hungry these kids are, and I mean that interview with Jaden, I think, kind of speaks everything that you need to know about where baseball is at in the present and where it's headed. We've got young men who are not only skilled, but they're confident, and even more importantly, they want to get better. And to me, that's what it's all about, especially at this level. So, Gates Field, hopefully not the last time I'm seeing it, and a really, really fun day.
Nick, we'd love to have you back. If you'll join us for the postseason, if you're here, if you're in Utah, I'm not sure if you're traveling, but end of July, we'd love to have you. So
Okay.
you let us know.
If we can make it work,
If we
have
can
your
make it
people
work.
call my people.
Exactly,
all right?
exactly. So we'll talk. It was wonderful having you on the
Pleasure.
broadcast, honestly. Awesome having Nick Olczyk here, world-class analyst for the Utah Mammoth, and heck of a suit game too. If you happen to catch him on a night where he's next to Kim Becker,
Yeah.
you're going to be dressed to the nines.
Yeah, I
you know.
left the suit at the dry cleaners today.
Maybe World
I figured
Series.
My figure might be a little too hot for the suit today.
If we get you for the World Series, I think you and I both suit up. You
Yeah.
know, I'll go brown. Maybe you go, I don't know, maybe a white combo. I'm thinking
We'll see.
something. Okay.
see.
Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for us at Gates Field. A thriller tonight, a walk-off. The Mauvs win at 8-7. The hero, Mason Cantor and Jaden Lowray in the bottom of the 8th inning. Thank you for watching. So lovely to have you all here. From Nick Olczyk, I am Michael Goodkind saying be good, be kind. We'll see you next time. Goodkind out.